Yes guys, what is up? Hope everybody is keeping well and welcome back to the channel. I'm sure you can hear it by my voice, I'm not feeling 100%, but that doesn't matter. We're live and direct, that's the main reason. Thank you to the people who are messaging me asking why I didn't have a GW18 team selection video. I'm suffering with a flu at the moment, but sure, look, we have to make sure we got live before the deadline. Hope everybody first off had a lovely Christmas. Let me just fix this camera so we're in shot a bit more clearer. But yeah, hope everybody did have a nice Christmas. Do let us know if Santi was good to you. Yeah, all I'm wishing for today is a green arrow. Small green arrow last week, even using the triple captaincy also. But do let us know in the comments what Santi got you. We're going to be live here for the next 2 hours and 30 or 26 minutes or so. Apologies if I'm not sounding too great, but sure, look, we're live as is, and we'll try and keep you entertained up until the deadline. Do let us know where you're watching from in the world also. As always, apologies if you are watching and you haven't clicked subscribe already. Head on down there, click subscribe on the channel. We're so close to hitting 8.7k subs, and if you wouldn't mind giving the stream a like also, let's get this pushed out to a few more people around the world. We have 33 viewers watching us at the moment, which is great to see, and I'll try not to be sniffling as much as possible throughout this stream. Who have we got in the chat? So we've got L Chivers, hope you're keeping well, man. Alex Watt, yes lad, good to see Alex. Rokus J, Merry Christmas to everyone here as of now. Right, what are we saying first? So HSE officer Slaspa watching from Saint Lucia. Lovely. What country is that in the world? That sounds very exotic, but great to see you tuning in from there. L Chivers, right, let's right, before we get into the chat, keep the questions coming if you wouldn't mind, lads and ladies. Here's a quick look back at game week 17. Triple captain went well, 48 points from the Ironman on triple captain Hallen. Apart from that, it was fairly bleak. Only the arse on the fence and O'Reilly coming up with returns. Then also we brought in Wilson last week. Of course, Soboslai had to get his yellow card last week, so he's suspended for Wolves game. I'm going to keep him on the bench this week and have him back for the Leeds game, and then reassess my options, what I'm going to do after that then also. But I'm probably looking towards doing Soboslai to Rodgers once he gets Chelsea and Arsenal out of the way. But yeah, less said the better really about Gaming 17. I was lucky I had the triple captaincy, 48 points on the Ironman, which was great to see. And that pretty much saved my rank, 22k down to 24k overall. Badly needed a green hour this week. Let's try and get one step closer to the top 10k. And yeah, as you can see on screen there, I have 2 free transfers locked in. The only thing is there then as well, I have made 2 free transfers, sorry, yeah, I'm just reading through the chat here. It's in the Caribbean, lovely to see that. Get well soon, Rokus, I appreciate that, man. Nate687 watching from Salt Hill, love that. Don't blow away in Salt Hill. Watching from Bangkok while on holiday from South Africa. Hope the holidays are going well. Lovely to see that then as well. Right, let's go back up to El Chivers. So in the chat, first off, Semenyo and Wilson, 4 free transfers. Keep up for 18 to Cunha and Lafie. Yeah, right, so first off, before Bruno got injured, I was going to be looking at doing Saka to Rice and Thiago to Ekatike. That would have kept me a lot of money in the bank, and I would have probably been able to do Soboslai to Cunha then as well. But you look, since Bruno got injured, can't afford Cunha now, so you can see on screen there I have brought in Jack Grealish for Bruno, and I've got 1 million in the bank now, so at least I have a bit of money for the transfer in for Rodgers or Soboslai. Going to have him for the Leeds game, as I said, next week, and yeah, we'll reassess our options then as well. Grealish is fine for yeah, let's chat about Grealish anyway. In game week 35, right? That's fine. We don't care about game week 35. If we have a look at his fixtures here over the next 3, Burnley, Nottingham Forest and Brentford, I'm happy to have Grealish in there, but sure, after looking at his returns all season, there's only 2 goals so far, and a couple of assists along the way. He's got a lot of blanks, but I'm just trying to target these Burnley, Forest and Brentford fixtures. These are teams who are conceding for fun at the moment. I know Woods didn't score against Brentford last week. They probably should have. Of course, Kelleher making that save from the penalty spot, as he always seems to does whenever there's a penalty on him. But yeah, I'm happy enough to have Grealish. Let's see how he gets on this week. Burnley is a fixture I do want to target. We also have hopefully I'm not wheezing here. I can hear myself wheezing. Hopefully that's not coming up on the mic here also, so apologies about that. But looking at Wilson as well, the latest on Wilson is the fact that Marco Silva, let's get the proper quote up here from Wilson. He said, if it wants to load, it looked more serious than it is. It was a big knock on the knee and it is still painful, so we will assess him. Let's hope we can have him available. So that just means if you have Wilson, keep him. If you don't have him, don't buy him this week. I'm looking at keeping him this week. Hopefully he can play against West Ham, because if he doesn't play, I could be scrambling for players on my bench. I've got Esteve on my bench. I'm currently playing 4-4-2. Szoboszlai is of course suspended this week. He did fall in price as well, which is pretty annoying. But I'm going to hope Wilson is fine, and I'm just going to play him, and we'll see how he goes. Right, anyway, L. Shivers, I suppose let's answer your question first off. Semenyo and Wilson, keep for 18 to Cunha and Lafie, 19 Cunha and Lafie. 8, what are you saying here? Keep for 18, Semenyo and Wilson. Keep for 18 to Cunha and Lafie and 19. Yeah, I would keep Semenyo and Wilson this week. There's no point getting them rid of them this week. Semenyo and Wilson, if they do start, Semenyo will be fine. If Wilson does start, there's a good chance he can do very well in that West Ham game. And then you're saying, right, option number 2, Cunha and Lafie. What are you even asking here? I'm sorry. Wirtz and Lafie 18 on to Cunha 19. Wirtz and Lafie on. So I'm assuming you've got Wirtz this week. Then you're going to move to Cunha 19. Nothing wrong with that if you do want to go that way. Apologies. Now it's there's a lot of numbers in the options there, but keep for 18 Semenyo and Wilson. I would keep that, and then just move on to Cunha in Game Week 19. That's what if that's what you're asking me. Yes, that's what I'll be doing there. Rokas J, Cunha or Wirtz in. Already planned to bring in Cunha in Game Week 19. Yeah, I'm just thinking here now. Cunha's 8 something, isn't he? He's up to 8 now, anyway. Yeah, he was 7-9. That's why I couldn't afford him. Grand. I'm just looking at what I could have done. No, yeah, so I could have afforded a midfielder for 7.5. Jack Grealish is probably the best one there. Anthony Gordon isn't a bad shout either, but I just like Everton for the next 3, so that's why I've gone from it. It is a bit of a punt. It mightn't pay off, to be honest with you. I just think for those fixtures, I'm happy enough to take a risk on Grealish, and that's what I'm doing there. Cunha or Wirtz, and already planned to bring in Cunha in Game Week 19. If you're looking to bring in Cunha this week, probably just make the transfer this week. I'll be hoping he blanks. I support United, so I'll have to hope he blanks and United still win. The chance of that happening is extremely slim, so I don't think it's going to happen. So probably need Cunha to score for United win. So let's see, all on there. Even all, William, sorry I missed that. Even all, overall of it, 1,128 after another green hour last week. Thanks again, FPL Era. Send a message on Discord too. So let's take a quick look at this then. William, you're absolutely flying this season. As I said, while I'm doing this, when I'm looking at this Discord, if you haven't liked the stream already, go down there, click like on the stream. We're only 10 subs off hitting 8.7k. So it'd be great to hit that and more throughout this stream. Like, let's get William up here. What are we saying, William? Happy Christmas, everyone. Thoughts? If not, I've 0.0 in the bank at 4 free transfers, so you're in a good position here, William. Bruno Fernandes to Cunha. First off, Hincampy might be a bit of a risk also. Yeah, you're on about using the 4 free transfers. Let's have a look. Bowen in, Wirtz, Potts, and the Cooper. I'd nearly look at going Hincampy to the likes of a Tarkowski or a Michael Keane. Brant Wade is close to returning, but there's another couple of weeks before he will be back, so at least he'll get a couple of weeks out of Michael Keane at least. And then Bruno, you're looking at taking out Wilson. I don't think I'd take out Wilson this week, to be honest with you. It doesn't sound great, William, but I think just Bruno to Cunha and Hincampy to Michael Keane. Play Mukulele over Minta 4-4-2, and I think you're good to go. I know you're looking at bringing in Bowen, Potts, Wirtz, and the Cooper. I don't think they're the best use of your 4 free transfers there. Let us know if that's all right, William. And well done your season so far. 1.1k is serious going. Well done on that, man. That's class to see. Let us know if that's all right. Ian Quinner in the chat, man, as well. Any chance of a bad week? And let me slide past you again. I've had a couple of bad weeks in a row now, Ian. So I need it myself to get a green arrow this week. I got a green arrow in Game Week 16. We're 18 now. Game Week 16. Red arrow on a triple captain in Game Week 17 isn't ideal. But we're down to, well, it was only a 2k red arrow, so we're not in the worst position. Frankie, best takeaway in Galway. Shout out to Smashbird in Galway. If you're looking for a takeaway, Frankie, head into Smashbird. It's class in there. Wings in Smashbird are probably the best wings in Galway. So get on that if you haven't done so already. I doubt they're going to be open on St. Stephen's Day, but Frankie, I'll be going Smashbird there. Get well soon, Rokas. Appreciate that, man. Hallander Ekatike captain. Right, let's get that first poll going there. I'm on Halland captain. I was looking towards Ekatike, but I think just after a 2k red hour last week, I need to make sure, and especially the fact that I don't have Cunha this week, I want to make sure I get closer, try and get a green hour this week. Right, so Game Week 18 captaincy poll. I think it's going to be a lot closer than we think though, but it's just the fact that captaincy poll near 11. Appreciate that, man. Let's get straight to it in 1 sec. Game Week 18 captaincy poll. Haaland Ekatike. We're only going to give it the 2 options. Let's see if what the split is going to be on that. Thanks, sounds like a better plan, William. Good stuff. Which 2 to start out of these? Senesi, Alderete, Anderson and Richards. I'd be starting Alderete. Bournemouth have who again now? Let's have a quick look at who Bournemouth have. Let's get this up on screen here quickly. I'd definitely be starting Alderete. I think Sunderland can do well in that game this week against Leeds, especially with them being at home. Brentford against Bournemouth. Would you play Senesi out of those? Her Anderson or Richard. Richards was stretched off during the week, so I don't think he is going to play. Liverpool FC man is asking the same thing there. Chris Richards, lads, any chance of playing? I don't think he will. He will play this week. Let me see how long he's out for, but he was stretched off during the week, which obviously means he's going to be out for a nice while. Let's see how long he is going to be out for. Anderson of Nottingham Forest, I'm assuming I wouldn't be going for that. If it's Anderson of Fulham, it's going to be very close between Senesi and Anderson. I'll probably start the first 2 there in their 11. Senesi and Alderete is what I'll be going for there. And best Bruno Fernandes replacement is Cunha this week. I like Wirtz as well if you're going for a 1 week punt and then on to Cunha right after. Cunha's a big shout for the Ironman next week, which could force me into making a -4, but if not, we can just leave it on Haaland. Thursday at 8 o'clock in that Sunderland game. But Tuesday, wow, so Tuesday, no game on the 31st, and then all the rest of the games then. What's that? Four games on a Thursday. Wow, fair enough. Best Bruno Fernandes replacement is Cunha there, just because you can get Cunha for the Ironman then next week against Wolves, against his old club. We all saw how United could have been 3 or 4 up at half time in that game, so not great there. Frankie's watching from Duishka. Good stuff on that. Let's have a quick look on Chris Richards. But I think he had a poll up, the post up on Instagram saying that he's going to be out for a while. Chris Richards, let's get the proper quote that he had. He's got a knock on his foot and had to be stitched. It doesn't look so bad. I don't know if it's possible to have him on Sunday, but hopefully in the new year he's back. That's just that's probably him just hinting at that he's not going to play this week. So if you're looking at how Crystal Palace is it, even if you're looking for the next couple of games, Crystal Palace against Fulham midweek, Crystal Palace against Spurs this week. After that, then they have Newcastle. If you need the defenders, maybe just look towards bringing in Michael Keane, and you'll be good to go there. Marca Delusive is watching from Lebanon. It's cool to see. Any chance of Chris Richards playing this week? Liverpool FC man? No, I don't think it will after that. Sakib, want a bench boost this week? 5 free transfers. Who's the best replacement for Saka, Wilson, Bruno G, Krupi, and Esteve? 31.6 to you. Wouldn't be getting rid of Saka. Wouldn't be getting rid of Wilson. Probably not even getting rid of Bruno G. We only have Krupi and Esteve. That Everton fixture, it's a good chance of him getting DEFCON if he does start that game. Don't think he'll keep a clean sheet. They are playing at home. Have brought in Grealish to try and attack that fixture anyway. But no, it's a keep. I'll be keeping Saka, Wilson, probably even Bruno G. If you can get Bruno G to Cunha, Krupi Jr. to a Calvert-Lewin if you can. I'm assuming you can't though without getting rid of Saka. But sending the rest of the team, there's absolutely no need to get rid of Saka. As I said, I was looking towards getting rid of Saka to Rice to afford Thiago to Ekatike, but since that Bruno Fernandes injury came in, I had to go elsewhere. So Saka has stayed in the team. A lot of people taking -4, -8 this week. I'm on to get in. It's definitely to get in Cunha. So I'm taking a big risk going without Cunha. Ian Quinner, if you're still watching, if you have Cunha, this could be the week you pass me out. So who knows? Michael O'Connor, afternoon pal. Any suggestions on what to do? Send on Discord. Let's get you up here, Michael. So what are we saying? 4 free transfers, 0 in the bank. Your transfer recommendations, pal. So you have Virgil, Anderson, and Virgil, Timber, and Keane this week. Defense is looking good there. Wilson, Shirky, Foden, Saka. Unfortunately, the Shirky transfer didn't pay off last week, Michael. Bruno Fernandes, Acuna, and you can roll there, Michael. All good. Good to go then. Blake Hampton, is it worth more to take the -4 for Bruno out of the rest of my bench than Steve and Guy? I've Wilson and I'm worried about having a 0 in my lineup. Yeah, I'm in the same thing. Right, so let me just show you what we're looking like. Will I take a big wheezy breath there? Apologies, as I said, I'm not feeling 100% today, but that's what my team is looking like this week. I have Wilson in the team. I've Szoboszlai, who obviously is suspended. Do I play Guy over Esteve? Probably not, in the hopes that Esteve starts, and in the hope that Guy can sub on. But apart from that, O'Reilly, Virgil, Timber, Mukulele, Wilson, Grealish, Foden, Saka, Ekatike, and Haaland. I think we're in a good spot this week. It's only in the Wilson whether or not he will play or not. Near 11, let me know if that's alright, man, but I appreciate that, man. for those donations. That's very sound of you there. Is it worth taking a -4 for Bruno out if my best my bench is a Stave and Guy? I've Wilson and I'm worried about having 0 in my lineup. I probably would just do Bruno to Cunha there, Blake, and just get the transfer done. If you can't afford it, I would have gone for it myself if I could afford it, but I couldn't. So that's why I went for Grealish. And as I said, I'm happy enough to have him in the team for the next couple of weeks. Let's see how he gets on against those teams who are currently out of form. Hussein, sell Bruno for Verts, Cunha for -4. If you need the transfer, yeah, I probably would just bring in Cunha for -4. You have him as a slight captaincy candidate then next week. Annie Kent had one. Sorry, start Wilson plus Dubravka or Tete plus Kelleher. Wilson plus Dubravka. I'm assuming you're free hitting there, are you? Wilson and Dubravka. Can you just start Wilson and Kelleher? Maybe. Michael Flaherty. I got Cunha and Ekatike. Who should I risk the captaincy? Ekatike. I was leaning towards, to be honest with you, I was before I did my captaincy video during the week, or before even the triple captaincy last week. I thought if I was inside or close to the top 10k, which I probably should have been after the use of a triple captaincy, especially with Haaland doing so well on the triple captaincy, it's just the rest of my players didn't perform last week. I was going to look towards captain and Ekatike because I have to make sure I kind of hold my rank. Haaland captain this week, sorry, is what I'm looking at. But I wouldn't say no to captain and Ekatike. Wolves are very poor, and that is a fixture. Liverpool could score 2-3 goals in that easily. It's only with Forest as well. They looked poor last week against Fulham on Monday night. So I wouldn't say no to Haaland coming away with a nice haul there then as well. I got Cunha and Ekatike. Who should I risk the captaincy? If you want to choose between those two, I probably would lean towards Ekatike. Fatnik, Merry Christmas, bro. I hope you're keeping well, man. Same to you. Currently 591 overall. Should I captain Ekatike? Wow. If you want to lean towards it, I'm not going to push into it. Haaland is the safe option this week. It's just with Ekatike, I think both will score. It's just who gets the most points. More chance of Haaland scoring 2 than there is Ekatike. So maybe at that rank, you know what? Go with your own gut because you're doing that well yourself. So maybe just go with that. Whatever one you're going for. But I wouldn't. Ekatike is not a bad shout this week for the Ironman. It's just Haaland is the safe one. Right. Confused between Senesi or Anderson. Who should I start this week? Probably would lean towards Senesi just. Should I bench boost Raya, Timber, Anderson, O'Reilly, Van Dijk, Foden, Saka, Wilson, Rodgers, Haaland, Ekatike, Dubravka, Keane, Minta, Guy? I'd go for it. If you can even money to go from Guy to Calvert-Lewin or Guy to someone in around that 5.5 million mark, but do you know what? If it's for -4, don't. Just go for that bench boost. Your team is looking decent this week. Right, if I was free hitting this week, be Irish here. What are you saying? If I was free hitting, what would I be looking for? Right, well, you want triple City, you want triple Liverpool. Let's see what we're looking at here. So game week 18. Let's get the fixtures up here. Right, so excuse me. Right, if I was if I was free hitting this week, double Everton defence, triple Liverpool, double Everton defence and Grealish, triple Liverpool, so that's Virgil, Verts and Ekatike, that's 6. Triple City, O'Reilly, Foden and Haaland is 9. Then probably at least one Arsenal defender is 10, and anyone in midfield you can go for then. So right, so let me just count these up. O'Reilly, Haaland and Foden is 3 for City. Double Everton defence, or at least one Everton defence. Maybe Pickford and Keane and Grealish is 3, so that's up to 6. At least one of Timber or Raya. If you're going Pickford, maybe just go with Timber, so that's 7. We already said the 3 Liverpool. I don't think we did. Maybe we didn't. And 3 Liverpool brings it to 10. And then they need one more player out of those positions. Who would you go for? Maybe even just throw in Cunha, and that's a free hit team for you there. Let us know if you can afford that. You should be able to anyway. But that's a nice free hit team there if you want to go with that. We've 47 people in the chat. We're on 13 likes. If you wouldn't mind going down there, dropping like on the stream, let's try and get this pushed out to a few more people around the world. I'm just double checking. Am I very bad talking here? Right, no, at least the flu isn't coming bad too much over the mic, so apologies if it is. But Jack Mulroy in the chat, yeah, what are we saying? Let's try and get to 20 likes in the next couple of minutes if you wouldn't mind. Jack Mulroy, great to see you, man. Another Galway man. Considering KDH to Mount for next 4 gamings, Mount's third start without Bruno. You'd think he is. If you can, nothing wrong with going Mount. I just don't fancy him. I'm assuming then Mount is less than 6 million. So if you can't afford Grealish, maybe go with Mount, but I'd be saying go with the Grealish one like I did Jack there if you can do it all. Chris Richards, lad, any chance of playing? No, I don't think so. Petrovic or Dubravka this week? Probably Petrovic. Merry Christmas, Niall. Took a -8, so you'll be ahead of me now. Had a poor game week 7. I brought in Ekitike, Cunha, Gravenberch and Keane for Thiago, Bruno, Szoboszlai and Richards. Wow, I've kept Szoboszlai, you can see on the bench there, Gary, but -8. Probably I wouldn't recommend on doing that, but sure, look, there's nothing wrong with that. Hope all is well. Glenn Jacobs 6244 with the €5.99 donation. Really appreciate that, man. Happy Christmas, Niall. Happy Christmas to you, Glenn. That is class. As he took a -4 to bring in Cunha and Ekitike for Bruno and Thiago. Armband on Ekitike. Good moves. Happy New Year. -4 to bring in Cunha and Ekitike for Bruno and Thiago. Armband on Ekitike. Nothing wrong with bringing Cunha and Ekitike. As I said, then you've got the captaincy shout on Cunha next week against Wolves. Armband on Ekitike. Depends what rank you are, Glenn. If you want to take a bit of a risk on Ekitike over Haaland, there's nothing wrong with that. I do think both of them do score. It's just who comes away with the haul. Probably would lean towards Haaland because Ekitike isn't going to be on penalties, or maybe he might be on penalties with Szoboszlai out. That's something maybe to consider then as well. With Szoboszlai out, who is going to be on penalties? It might be McAllister is another thing then, but Ekitike might want to take him. But nothing wrong with that. Let us know what rank you are, Glenn. It's more of a case if you want to protect your rank going with Haaland, or if you want to try and make up some ground this week going with Ekitike. But happy Christmas to you and happy New Year, Glenn. That is class to see that with that donation there. Really do appreciate that, man. Let us know what rank you are then. Get the subs, likes and even the memberships in, son. Great advice over the last few years, not just now. Wouldn't go close to these ranks only for Discord discussions and your ongoing advice, William. Appreciate that, man. If you want to be like William, head on down there into the description. You can either join my Patreon or become a member of the channel, and you don't realise it actually does help the channel so much with these little memberships, working as a full-time job on the side as well as this. But FPL doesn't seem like work, so we don't mind putting the hours in on the channel. But thank you to everyone there who is donating, and big up to William as well, who's a member, trying to push that then as well, which is great to see. Right then, let's keep this going. What are we, 4:25? Senesi or Anderson, who would have picked this week? Probably just Senesi out of those. Should have bench boost Raya, Timber, Anderson, O'Reilly, Van Dijk, Foden. We did this already. Yeah, sorry, Marcus. Go with that. Do that bench boost. Who to bring in for Anderson? I've put 6.3 minutes in the bank. I have midfield like you, so you can't get the Grealish. I probably would just keep Anderson. That's a game where Anderson could come away with DEFCON. So nothing wrong with that if you want to just go with that and leave him in the team. Save your transfer for next week. Hussein Mehdi, I'm 25k. Sell Bruno for Wirtz or Cunha for -4. I think Cunha this week, you'll want it for next week. So Wirtz could easily do well this week against Wolves, but Cunha could do well this evening, and you'll want Cunha for that Wolves game. So why not just make the transfer a week early instead of, you're already taking a -4 year as well. Get a transfer ahead of what you're trying to do anyway. So go with that. Is Mount a cert starter, Jack? Sorry, you'd imagine so with Bruno out now as well. Mount will be starting. He's been starting the last couple of weeks anyway. So I'd leave him there if you want to go with that. If you can't get the Grealish, Mount isn't a bad shout there either. Nezgul, what are we saying? Rate this wildcard. Senesi to Keane, Saka to Rice, Semenyo to Wirtz, Bruno to Cunha, Gree to Ekitike, Seltzer for Brugge, and rest of the team is Dubravka, O'Reilly, Hincapie, Vandenberg, Esteve, Minta, Haaland. I probably would move on Hincapie if you can. Let me just get a quote on Hincapie. It looks like he was left out of the squad completely against Crystal Palace. Is it likely that he's going to miss this weekend's game against Brighton? Let's take a look. Anything? Yeah, he's a doubt. He's got a picture of himself and the dog up on his Instagram anyway. Hincapie, what are we saying? Martinelli is more of a knock and he wasn't comfortable to carry on. With Piero, yeah, something different, but he picked up an injury against Everton. So that means he is a big doubt, Hincapie. But December 20th, yeah, okay, that's fine. That was a while ago. Just make sure you have cover for Hincapie if you have him in your team. If you're wildcarding, I probably would try and stretch the timber if you can do it all. Have you got a free hit team? What we were saying there, yeah, triple Liverpool, triple Everton, double defence if you can at all, triple Man City, Cunha, and at least one Arsenal defender makes you 10. You could probably even double up on Arsenal and Sack even to make it 11, and that's your free hit team there. Best 5.2 midfielder to buy. Let's take a look at a 5.2 midfielder. You can't even get Anderson at that price, I don't think. Right, midfielders 5.2. Let's take a look here. Dewsbury Hall is obviously suspended. Xhaka, just about, yeah, Xhaka. So Lafie isn't too bad. Is there talk of Lafie being on penalties also? And don't forget then, if he gets a yellow card before game week 19, he's going to be suspended for 1 game. Probably just Xhaka to be safe there. But it sounds like Lafie is going to be on penalties, which is crazy if he is at 4.9 million. Thoughts on getting Rodgers? I'll probably leave him off for the next 2 weeks. Chelsea and Arsenal over the next 2 weeks for Rodgers. I'm going to keep it a spot open in the team with Grealish. I'm happy enough to have Grealish for at least the next 2 game weeks, and then get Rodgers in 3 weeks time. But thoughts on getting Rodgers? Same thing there. Yeah, no, I'll probably leave it off for 2 weeks. What do you think of Cunha captain? Man United have won all Boxing Day games against Newcastle. They're normally all crackers as well. Cunha captain this week. I'm not sure if I'd captain Cunha. He probably is going to be on penalties. I don't think I'd captain him though. Thanks, but I need to upgrade my forwards, Michael. Do you already have Ekitike? Sorry, you do or you don't. Sorry. So if you can do Bruno, well, maybe you can't do that. Bruno to Cunha and Thiago to Ekitike, you should be bang on the money of doing that. Bang on the money. Let us know, Michael, if you can afford that. But it looks like you should have exactly enough money. A few new subs there, which is great to see. We're 2 subs off hitting 8.7k. If you are watching and you haven't subscribed, first off, you don't have to, but if you're enjoying the content, go down there, click subscribe if you wouldn't mind. And we're so close to hitting 30 likes on stream also. Yeah, so if you are watching and you're not subscribed, do us a favour, click that. It only takes a second to do that, and that'll be very much appreciated. Miley, our Mukalele this week. My man Mukalele playing this week. Dawn, Anderson and Wilson out to Rice. Which one? I think Anderson. I'd move him on. With Wilson, it sounds a small bit positive. He's not definitely out. I have to play him anyway. It's typical. I brought in Szoboszlai suspended. Brought in Wilson. Now he's a big doubt. It's not ideal with the moves that we're making the last while. They haven't been very great, to be honest with you. But as I said, we're in a good position now. Anywhere inside the top of 1 million at Christmas is a good season so far. We're just lucky where we are at the moment at 24k. Just need to make sure we stay in around this and even get up the ranks more. But a lot to come in the next half of the season, definitely with more chips. And yeah, so let's see where we do end up. If given the choice between Saka and Cunha, who would you captain Cunha this week out of those two? Updates for Wilson and Esteve. Wilson, they're hopefully he's going to play. Silva's hopefully he's going to play. Let me have a proper look at the quote on Esteve. What was said on him? Esteve. Let's see. Could also do with some Wilson, or sorry, with Maxime Esteve was on the grass today. We'll have to wait and see later on in the week if he is fit for Saturday. That was 3 days ago. He was on grass train at least. That was 3 days ago. The game is tomorrow. I'd probably just play him if you have him, and hope he gets some DEFCON. Went for -4 to bring in Keane instead of Richards and play my bench boost. Not worth going for -8 for Calvert-Lewin. No, I'm starting Ukulele now, so no. I think Calvert-Lewin, I could be wrong in saying this, but I think that could be Calvert-Lewin's last big haul of the next file anyway. Not on the season, but of the next while. Having a terrible season so far. I got bench boost and free hit left. My bench boost looks better this week, but also got 0 free transfer. Hincapie and Wilson. What should I do? Send in the rest of the team there. Kaize 187 if you don't mind. I'd only be hesitant on playing a bench boost in the midweek fixtures because that's when there's going to be plenty of rotation. So I'd try and leave off the bench boost at least during the week. Maybe just play it this week if you can. If you can move on Hincapie, he looks more of a doubt than Wilson. And yeah, let's see where we go. Anything wrong with keeping Thiago over Grealish? Nothing wrong with keeping Thiago, Alex, at all. There's a chance he could do well in that Bournemouth game, so I wouldn't pick him over Grealish if you have to. If you're picking between the two, I prefer Thiago to Grealish. It's just I had to make a midfielder transfer, and there wasn't too great of a player pool to choose from in and around that price point. So Grealish is there for 2 weeks at least. It's gonna be a punt anyway. What even ownership is he? I put up a tweet and it did well, considering his ownership. Right, 11.1%. The fixtures are definitely there. It's just whether the returns will be there. So let's see. Cam, I reckon Wirtz will outscore Cunha this week. Newcastle will be tough for this weekend United team, as they'll do. All they do is create huge XG with so many missed chances. True. I think we're going to struggle tonight, to be honest with you, United against Newcastle. So let's see where we do end up on that. Triple captain Haaland or Ekitike. You should have used it last week. Obviously, it goes without saying. But if it was triple captain in this week, I think it still has to be Haaland. Do you think Semenyo's a doubt to play? I think he's going to be fine. I'm ranked 140k. I reckon he could be on pens. Yeah, I'm always going to say go towards Haaland, but they're good moves for -4. Do you try and combat the -4 captain and Ekatike? And as I said, with Szoboszlai out, I think Ekatike will be on penalties also. So that could be another thing. Maybe we're overlooking that with the fact Szoboszlai is gone. It's either it's not fully confirmed. Is it going to be McAllister or Ekatike? Could easily be the striker. That's the thing. Hello from the kitchen. Dinner soon be ready. Good stuff. I won't be able to have dinner till 6:30 anyway. Show my bench. Bench is poor this week. Szoboszlai, Esteve and Guy on the bench, so we're in a poor position with the bench this week. But apart from Wilson, I think everyone plays this week anyway. Do you need to swap Thiago to Ekatike or just swap Bruno to Cunha? If you have 2 free transfers, go for it. I wouldn't take a hit bringing in Ekatike. If you have 2 free transfers, do those moves and you're fine to go. Who should I start between Alderete, Anderson and Bruno G? Bruno Guimaraes or Alderete or Anderson? If you're not starting Bruno G, surely you can make it a midfielder transfer and go from Bruno G to Cunha, maybe, if you have the money available. Free hit team, yeah, we've said the free hit team already. Triple City, triple Liverpool, double Everton defence, and Grealish is 9, and Cunha is 10, and another Arsenal defender at least is 11. There's your free hit team for you. Quick question. Should I go Kanate or Tarkowski and Raul or Calvert-Lewin? I'm using my wildcard next week, so it's a 1 week thing. Both will be changed next week. I'm using my bench boost as well. Probably, if it's only 1 week, Liverpool should be getting their clean sheet, so maybe go Kanate and Raul or Calvert-Lewin for a 1 week punt. I'd favour Raul over Calvert-Lewin. On penalties, go with that. As I'm using bench boost to replace Wilson, drop team and Patreon, so keep. Let's get you up here. I wouldn't replace Wilson. There's a chance he does play. Wouldn't be taking rid of him. Wouldn't be getting rid of him for a hit. So no, I wouldn't recommend that. Let's get you up on here, if we can at all. Where are you, man? Right, FPL. If you still have triple captain, when would you use it with your team this week? Has to be used, I think. Grand Sakib, where are you? Is it in the team review? Yeah, here we go. Here. Want to use bench boost, 5 free transfers. Any suggestions? Looking at replacing Bruno G, Wilson, Esteve and Krupi. Would keep Wilson, but after the news, unsure. Right, so Raya Dubravka's fine. Lacroix, O'Reilly, Kanata, Ukulele, Esteve. I think Esteve could be okay, to be fair. Saka, Foden, Wirtz, Wilson, Bruno Guimaraes. You have 0.7 in the bank also. Ekatike, Haaland and Krupi Jr. Grealish. Could you do Grealish and Krupa Jr., Grealish and DCL for Bruno and Krupi? Let me know that's the keep if you can do that. What else are we saying here? How should I deal with Bruno Fernandes, Gordon or Cunha or anyone else? Cunha definitely. Cunha. FPL in a pickle here. Can't get to Cunha. What's the next best option? If you can't get the Cunha, just do what I do. Grealish in there. FPL, any changes, let it roll and bring in stats for Szoboszlai and let the transfers roll. Have him back next week. Roll there, Tommy. Good lad. Next up then, start Dubravka at home to Everton or Verbruggen. Dubravka. Yeah. FPL in a bit of a pickle here. Was going to do Rodgers and Saliba in for Bruno and White, but a foam around Ekatike. Could have done with sorting White before Bruno went down and getting Ekatike messes up my finances for Saliba. So you have 2 free transfers. Bruno to Cunha and White to Timber. That's what I go there, Peter. FPL decided to wait before making any transfers. Enjoy the Christmas break. What transfers do you recommend in view of recent price changes and injuries? 3 free transfers. Bruno to Cunha, Thiago to Ekatike. You might know. You can only afford Grealish and Ekatike. I'm assuming no money for Cunha. Right, so keep. Let us know if that's all right, man. We're gonna go back to the YouTube chat here then as well. Hi mate, Colin, Merry Christmas. Colin, sorry. Would you do Senesi to Keane for fixtures? I have Van Dijk, Timber, Gahey, Rodon. Plan to play back for bench and Minta. Nothing wrong with going in Keane with Everton's fixtures, so I'd just go with that. Haaland captain there. Haaland, easy. Grand job, Andre. Good man. FPL, what is the better lineup, do you think? Timber, Virgil, O'Reilly, Wilson, Grealish, Foden, Anderson, Saka, Haaland, Ekitike. Yeah, second one. Anderson, bench one. All good there. Want to use bench boost, have 5 free transfers. Any suggestions? Looking at replacing Bruno Guimaraes, Wilson, Esteban, Krupi. We did that one already, sorry, yeah. FPL, looks like bad news for Wilson, Esteva, unconfirmed, fit as well. Need the bench boost. What's your preference? Take the risk for easy fixtures this week or play the difficult fixtures next week with higher chance of them being fit? I'd just use it this week. I'm bench boosting in 3 transfers. Saka, Fernando, Mark, E to Rogers, Rice and Ekitike. All good there. Grand, right, Marcus. And then thought it was Game Week 19. It is 19. Just saying. Right, that's a good lump of the Patreon messages got back and there. Sorry mate, missed heard chat. Don't go Keane. I would go Keane, yeah. If you're playing a bench in 4, Minta, playing the back 4, I'd go for Keane there, yeah, go with that. Right then, let's go back to the rest of the questions here. Triple captain, Haaland or Ekitike? I'm still going to say Haaland. Do we need to swap Thiago to Ekitike or just swap Bruno to Cunha? If you can afford the 2, I'll do the 2. Who should I start between Alderete, Fulham and Bruno G? Surely you can do Bruno G to someone and upgrade him. Quick question, should I go Canal? Yeah, we did this, sorry, yeah. As I'm bench boosting, do I replace Wilson? Drop team and Patreon. Just play Wilson there, so keep if you're still watching, but I've got back to you. Free hit team, Leo Cannon in the chat. Good man, Leo. As I was saying, triple Arsenal, triple City, triple Liverpool, triple Everton. So your triple City is Foden, O'Reilly, Haaland, same as I've on screen there. Triple Liverpool will be going Virgil, Verts and Ekitike. That's 6. Who was the other triple? Yeah, two Everton defenders. So Pickford and Michael Keane. You could even go to Grealish and make it 9. Cunha makes it 10. And then probably even an Arsenal defender, Timber. Or if you can even afford Saka, there's your 11 players there. Never mind about the bench. All it matters is your starting 11, so go with that. Good man, Leo, for tuning in. Good stuff. Omkar, goalkeeper Donnarumma, Dubravka, Baird, Timber, Thiago, Gahey, Rodon. Midfielder Saka, Rice, Foden, Stash, King, Haaland, Ekitike, Thiago. Planning to play bench boost. Should I remove Rodon, King, Thiago from Ukulele, Gravenberch, Bone for -4? Don't think I would. No, not for -8. No, leave as is. Thiago could easily return this week, so no. Don't do that for -4. Leave it off there. Definitely not. Kai, Pickford, Timber, Mukulele, Frimpong, Saka, Semenyo, Cunha, Wilson, Foden, Haaland, Thiago. Benches Dubravka, Hincapie, Anderson, DCL. Might just risk the bench boost. Hincapie is a bit of a doubt. I wouldn't be too confident of him starting, to be honest with you, by the sounds of it. But I'd just, do you know what, risk it. Anderson, DCL and Dubravka isn't the worst bench boost, and considering you've only 2 weeks to use it, get it used. Don't forget now, when we get the next batch of chips, if you've waited this long to use them, let that be a lesson, and when you have the chance to play your chips, use them. I just got lucky with my use of the chips this week. Had a great free hit, 35 points on a bench boost and a 48 triple captain. That's why I'm up this high. But that's just a lesson. If you have the players available to use, don't be holding it in the hopes it's another week or a double game week, because there was talk of a potential double game week happening, and that's why people were holding their chips early on in the season. If there is a week to play it, just play them for the next half of the season. Keep that in mind there. Would you do Senesi the Keane? Yeah, do that move there. Pagka. What are we saying? Thoughts on bench boost? Rofs, Raya, Gahey, O'Reilly, Vardy, James, Senesi, Gravenberch, Wilson, Wirtz, Wharton, Bruno G, Ekitike, Haaland, Thiago. Next game week would be, in my opinion, much harder. Yeah, it's going to be a midweek game, so I'd say leave it off. Just use your bench boost this week. All good to go there. Start Gay here, Mukulele. That's what I'd be saying there. Happy Christmas, Niall. Alexis, good man. Sorry, bro. Walterman is going to kill it today against your Man United. Let's see. I think there's going to be goals in that game, considering how poor we've been in defence. But I do think Newcastle could beat us tonight, which isn't ideal. I'm 1 million short Bruno Acuna and Thiago to Ekitike. Is Ekitike 9 million now? So I thought he was 8. Let's get it up for you here, Michael. What are you saying? He is 9. Sorry, I thought he was 8. Fair enough. So what are we looking at here for Michael? Bruno to Grealish and Thiago to Ekitike is what you do there, Michael. 3-5-2, good to go. Let me know if that's alright. Should be fine there. I could still use my free hit next week, or does it burn? You can use it for one more week next week. The thing about midweek games isn't ideal, so probably get it used this week, the free hit. I wouldn't want to be doing a free hit with midweek games. There's going to be more rotation next week in game week 19, so get rid of it this week if you can. And as I said, do what I said in the free hit. Sakib 0.2 short of doing Bruno G and Krupi to Grealish and DCL. Should I do Bruno G to Gordon and Esteva to Alderete? I wouldn't get rid of Alderete, or sorry, I wouldn't get rid of Esteva. There's a chance Esteva can play this week, but if it does allow you to get Gordon in, it is on penalties. I can see Newcastle scoring tonight, Sakib. Maybe just do that. Colin Johnson, cheers mate, one of the most underrated content providers. Appreciate that, man. Class to see that. Good man, appreciate that. Should I go Lafie or Stash? Also, will I save a start? If not, should I take a hit if I'm doing bench boost? I wouldn't take a hit. He was back training on grass 3 days ago. That was Monday, so we're now, or that was Tuesday. The fact that he's back on grass is positive news. So I'd probably just leave him in the team, and definitely wouldn't be going for a hit for Esteva this week. Just play him in the hope he does play. Right then, do we get FPL's drafts before the deadline? You definitely do. Right, FPL team reviews. A lot of money in the fence. When was that? Was that today? Was it? Why Rice? Not sure. Rice to Reinders, full Craig. Right, that was ages ago. All good there. FPL, what do you think? I'm bench boosting it 3 transfers: Saka, Fernando, Marchi to Rogers, Rice, and Ekitike. All good there. Any changes here? FPL 1 free transfer, but nothing in the bank. Raya, O'Reilly, Virgil, Senesi, Rice, Gravenberch, Foden, Saka, Ekitike, Haaland, and Thiago. He's benching Wilson as of now. Would nearly start Muke over Senesi. Grand. Scott here then as well. What do you think is option 2? Option 2. All good there. Also hoping you and the family the best. Excellent. Appreciate that, Mo. Good man. What are we saying? Hey bro, there's rumours Wilson is out. I've got Van de Ven on my bench. Should I take a -8? Leave off the hit. Not worth it. Wilson. Grand. Niall, advice needed. I have to sell Bruno. It's worth -4 to get an Ekitike. I'd have to remove Thiago as well, and I've 7.1 for a midfielder. Get Ekitike. I've gone. Grand. Right, let's get back to the YouTube chat for now. I could still use that use it this week. Then where don't be free hitting in the midweek games. Any news on Hincapie? Arteta's hinting that he's a big doubt, which isn't ideal. If you have him, start him. If you don't have him, don't bring him in. That's what you have to do with him this week. Start Wilson or Gahey. Start Wilson in the hope he does start. Michael, you're just going to have to do the same transfers of what I've done, bringing Grealish and Ekitike. I can do Bruno to Gordon without getting rid of Esteva. It leaves me with 0.2. Yeah, go with that, Sakib. So leave that Esteva. The fact he has been back on grass, I think it's fine that he might be alright to play. Definitely not worth taking a hit from. Definitely not. Right, good stuff. What time we? Sorry for all the sniffling. Right, 12 minutes to go until 5 o'clock. We're one sub off hitting 8.7k. If you are watching and you haven't subscribed, do consider heading on down there, click and subscribe. And we're on 30 likes, which is great to see. If we can get up to 40 likes in the next couple of minutes, that'd be very much appreciated, or even close to 40 likes. But I can see we've just hit 8.7k, which is great to see. So I appreciate whoever has clicked subscribe there. That's great to see. Right, Mandy P. Gill, is it worth the risk to go against Haaland captaincy if I'm at 200k, or should I protect my rank and go safe? Feels like Wolves at home is a better fixture to attack. Cheers, mate. nothing wrong with going Ekatike if you're comfortable. The thing with Haaland, he at least gets one return. Is Ekatike going to get one return? I do think he will. Is he going to get two? If Haaland gets two, that's where the next thing then as well. And Haaland will be close to 200% effective ownership. Ekatike will take off some effective ownership off Haaland. It's just whether or not you can live with that if Haaland hauls. I'd be happier with Ekatike hauling and Haaland blanking than Haaland hauling and Ekatike blanking. That's what I'm in my head anyway. That's why I'm going Haaland over Ekatike, and I think just at my rank I have to kind of protect my rank going Haaland this week. Thoughts on the 11: Donnarumma, Timber, Gahey, Coyote, Saka, Foden, Wilson, Tavernier, Thiago, Ekatike, Haaland. Bench is Dubravka, Gudmundsson, Minta, 0.5 million and one transfer. Would you go Richards to Michael Keane and play him over Kiade? Maybe that's a move you could go for there. Alex Stanton, let me know if that's alright, but I probably would look towards getting out Richards. It looks like he might be out for a couple of games with the fact they're so close together, the gaming, so maybe just do that this week if you want to go with that. I have funds to do Thiago Ekatike if all for free. Yes. Who do I start? Alderete or Gahey? Wilson sounds like it could be a big doubt. Alderete. Just play Wilson and hope he starts. Right, good stuff. 10 to 5. We've another hour and 40 minutes to go, so keep the questions coming if you don't mind then as well. Let's try and keep everyone entertained for the next while. But Bruno G as well, Abdullah. After the Ekatike move, only 7.2, so I can afford Cherky, Grealish, Paqueta, or I can get this player and then I can have money next week to upgrade anyone in the midfield. I'd be going Grealish, like I've done. Grand. Essentials of a free hit team. Here we go then again. O'Reilly, Foden, Haaland, Pickford, Keane. Then we have Virgil, Verts, Ekatike. That's 3, 6, 8. Cunha brings it to 9. Timber brings it to 10. Prob Grealish, then 2. Grand. Alex Gonzalez, Niall. Which 3 would you start? Timber, Anderson, Van de Ven, Cucurella, or Nico Williams? Which 3? Timber is definitely starting. Nico Williams definitely not against City. Cucurella is up against, let's see who Chelsea are playing again. Surprised you've Cucurella. He's a lot of money against Villa. Anderson of Fulham then maybe, and Cucurella. That's what I'll be going for. Timber, Cucurella and Anderson. That's what I'll be looking at there. Go with that. Mandy P Jill, let us know what you're going to end on, whether you're going for Haaland or Ekatike. But I think I'd still be leaving it on Haaland. Should I start Alderete or Timber Abdullah? Start Timber. Surely you can start Alderete then as well, but I'll be looking at the 2 this week. Go with the 2 if you can. Alex Stanton, cheers. Was thinking of rolling the transfer this week to target some more expensive assets next week with an extra transfer. You could do either. Maybe leave off the transfer if you think your team is fine, which it is, to be fair. Coyote over Keane. I prefer Keane over Coyote this week, but if you're looking to upgrade with 2 free transfers next week, maybe you have to get rid of Minta as well this week. Maybe Tavernier or one of Wilson will have to go next week, so maybe just roll the transfer. So maybe do Alex on second guess there. If you're looking to upgrade Minta next week, or even Wilson, maybe just leave it off. So who should I transfer in for Chris Richards with 1.2 million in the bank? Michael Keane. If you can get the Tarkowski, which I think you can, maybe just go Tarkowski. If not, Keane. But I think you should have enough money for Tarkowski there. Alex Gonzalez, thanks mate, no bother at all. Kelleher or Dubravka in goal this week? Kelleher against Bournemouth or Dubravka up against Everton? Dubravka is at home. Maybe, you know what, I'd lean towards maybe Kelleher, to be honest with you. The fact they are playing at home. Do we play Petrovic or Dubravka? Petrovic out of those. I think Everton will score. To be honest, I think they'll all score, to be honest with you. But maybe just go with Petrovic just. Right then, what else are we saying? Any press conferences hoping for an update on Wilson? How much have you for an upgrade to how much have you to upgrade a midfielder? 2.3 for Young. Grealish in then, so that's what I'll be saying for Grealish. Will I use it for free? If I don't use it, you can play it next week either. Is Saka injured? No, he's not injured. If all for free, yes, go for it. So, right, all good there. Any interest in Ekatike, captain? Interested, yes. Will I do it? No, I don't think I will. I think it has to be on Haaland this week. As I said though, with Sabafai injured, it's between Ekatike or McAllister on penalties. It's going to be very harsh if Ekatike captainers get a penalty and McAllister does take it. I'd be interested to see who takes it with Sabafai off the pitch. But Ekatike has that kind of confident personality that he'd nearly try and take it himself over McAllister. So let's see if they do get a penalty, who ends up taking it. But Anto, no interest in Ekatike captain. It has to be Haaland, I think. Yeah, it has to be. Right. Apologies about that. Hello mate, keep Sabasai for next week. A transfer amount of out. Who's your recommendation? Already got Foden, Saka, Wilson and Cunha. Excuse me. Right, you've plenty of players in midfield there then as well. I'm happy enough to give him the Leeds game next week. Sabasai, if he is going to be on penalties, I'd leave it on Sabasai on the bench this week and then reassess what to do with him next week. Then I'm happy enough to give him the Leeds game. Was Grealish your Bruno replacement and Tosiada? So I've gone Grealish in for Bruno and Thiago to Ekatike with 2 free transfers. Not ideal with Wilson in the team also, but him a doubt. Doesn't sound too bad though. It sounds like he might be alright. So I'm happy enough to play him. I have Esteve on the bench if Esteve has to come in. He can, or if not, Marquis. But he might get him in there too if he does come off the bench for Chelsea in that game. I wouldn't say no to that. Right then, how are we looking here? A lot of people bringing in Cunha this week, so I'm going to have to hope Cunha blanks. Wouldn't say no to a Sunderland clean sheet either. Right then, grand. Abdullah, should I bench Elliot Anderson for Alderete, or should I bench Anderson the defender and buy Lafitte instead of Elliot Anderson? Just bench Elliot Anderson for Alderete. Start Alderete. All good to go there. All good. XTN Garav, high 6k rank of my wildcard and bench boost left. Kind of confused what to do. Well, you have to use one of them this week. You're doing well without it, to be fair. Maybe if you can play your bench boost this week and then use your wildcard next week, maybe that's what I'll be saying there. XTN Gavrov, send in your team there, how you're looking. If you can, send it in, but you're going well at 6k. But the fact you have to use two your chips over the next 2 weeks, or you're gonna lose them. So the fact even if you've 2 players playing on their bench, it's better than no points. Just activate it if you can, and then maybe look towards wildcard next week, and then building your team for the next couple of weeks thereafter. Should I take a hit to do Bruno to Cunha, or should I start Klein? I already did Thiago and Saka to Ekatike and Rice. I plan to bench boost next week, and I think Cunha will find way to points. I think so too. I'll be hoping he blanks, but for not bringing him in for Bruno Fernandes, I couldn't afford him. I wanted Ekatike over Cunha. That's why I've brought in Ekatike over Cunha, and that's why Grealish is in the team there. But should I take a hit to do Bruno to Cunha, or start Klein? I probably would just take the hit instead of starting Klein there. I can see Spurs scoring against Crystal Palace. Leeds played them off the park last week, so maybe Bruno to Cunha, even though it's for a hit, it's a better long term move anyhow. But just go with that. Michael O'Connor, how about Shirky to Grealish, Bowen to Wirtz, and Thiago to Bowen? I think you need Ekatike though. You don't have Ekatike. I'd be looking towards Ekatike over those. Shirky could even do well tomorrow morning, so I don't think I'll be getting rid of Shirky. You brought him in for last week because I told you to bring him in last week. He was unlucky not to return last week, but I wouldn't be getting rid of him this week. Grealish, or what are we saying? Shirky to Grealish, Bruno to Wirtz, Thiago to Bowen. I think you need Ekatike over over Bowen. I know you're kind of hoping Bruno to Wirtz gets you some cover on Liverpool. Ekitike is the main man for Liverpool. I'm not sure. I'd be thinking Wirtz gets more points to Ekitike, or bringing in Wirtz will ensure you. With Ekitike not in the team, I don't think it will. Maybe so 9 million. You're a million short. Maybe even just Bruno, as I said, Bruno to Grealish, Thiago to Ekitike, and that at least gets him into your team then. Looking at the captaincy next week, first off, 67% on Haaland captain this week. Captaincy next week is tough. The fact I don't have Cunha. Is it just going to be a straight? It could even be Ekitike against Leeds. He already got 2 against them earlier in the year. Only a few weeks back at that, even though as well. Or is it going to be Sunderland for Haaland? Let's see. We'll worry about that. We'll have to get through this week first. Tanish. Should I get Grealish and Ekitike, or get Wirtz and Bruno, keep Thiago and save a transfer? I probably would do the 2 moves I did. Grealish and Ekitike. If you can't get the Cunha, Grealish is your next best shout there. Start Dubravka or Kelleher this week. Just about Kelleher, I think. I've 1 free transfer left. Would you hold Minta this week or sell? Speaking of Bowen, are you tempted to move to 3 playing forwards, or do you prefer the 5 mids? I prefer the 5 mids, to be honest with you. If you go with 3 forwards, I'm not too fussed. Fair enough, Bowen has some nice fixtures, but there's better value in the midfield going with a 3-5-2 setup. I know a lot of people are going to be looking towards bringing in Bowen. I'm happy enough now with Ekitike and Haaland, and once Szoboszlai's back, I'll be shifting back to 3-5-2. I just prefer the setup of the team in 3-5-2 instead of 3-4-3. Once a forward starts to clock off, you always need at least 2 transfers to the fact that player pool. All right, talking of forwards, right? Only one, right? Excluding Haaland, the only 2 or 3 forwards you'd want nowadays is Ekitike, Bowen, or Thiago. I know I've got rid of Thiago this week, but that was to bring in Ekitike. Outside of that, I don't think I'd want to own any other forward this season. So if I do change to 3-4-3, if one of them gets injured or whatever, I don't think I'll be looking to downgrade to anyone. That's why then it's going to take at least 2 transfers to switch back to 3-5-2. So I'm not too fussed on that. Bowen does have a nice run of fixtures after this. He looks to be West Ham's main man, or he is their main man, excluding penalties anyhow. But no, I'm not looking to shift to 3-4-3. I'm going to leave it at that. That being said, FPL is FPL. Anything could happen. I could get an injury in midfield again, which I might push me into changes to 3-4-3. But no, I'm sticking at a 3-5-2. It's only 4-4-2 this week with Szoboszlai suspended on the bench. That's why we're lining up like that this week. Anyway, back to you and to what we were saying about Minta. Have 1 free transfer left. Would you hold Minta this week or sell? What's your budget for a Minta replacement? Do let us know, and let's see if you can afford the likes of a Grealish. Maybe surely you can. If not, it's a pity Wilson is injured. Because you can't really go from this week with the question marks around him starting. Right then, 5 o'clock, an hour and a half ish to go until the deadline. Keep the questions coming if you can at all. Let's see where we are on the like total for the stream. Are we on 36 likes? If we can get to 40 likes in the next couple of minutes, head on down there, give the stream a like, and if you are watching and you haven't subscribed, please consider clicking subscribe on the channel. We're past the 8.7k mark. Next milestone is trying to get to 9k before we worry about hitting 10k, but fingers crossed we can get there this season. Right, did I even post that we're live on Instagram? I did, yeah, all good there, nice one. Grand. Right, back to this. Antos, great answer. I was tempted with Bowen. I'm not sure with the 5th mid to go. I'm not sure what 5th mid to go with KDH gone, yeah. Anderson isn't a bad one of Forest because he's going to tick along with the DEFCON. It's not ideal just counting for a midfielder on DEFCON each week. It's not very fun if you're watching a Forest game looking at him tally up the DEFCONs, whatever. But KDH, what's your budget then, Antos? Let us know. Yeah, I'm just happy with the setup of a 3-5-2 instead of a 3-4-3. Going for a hit, best Bruno replacement, Iman. Cunha. If I could have got to Cunha, I would have done him this week. So I'm not looking forward to the United game. First off, because I think Newcastle could beat us tonight, and second off with the fact I've no Cunha. There's going to be goals in the game tonight. So yeah, no involvement might have me down as a red. It will definitely have me down as a red arrow. It's just how big will it be? Fenerbahce in the chat. Fenerbahce, good to see you, man. John Phelan, Saka to McAllister, Imcheka, Emecha to Ekatika, good moves. I've been playing one up front, Haaland for a while. Saka to McAllister. How much is McAllister? Excuse me, sorry. Let's have a look at McAllister. 6.2. With the chance of him being on penalties, that's a god stroke if you bring in McAllister and he is on penalties this week. It's just whether the fact that Ekatika will take one if they do get one. If he can stretch to Grealish, I probably would, but Emecha to Ekatika is definitely a good shout there. Grealish maybe just over McAllister, just on that. Should I go for a hit or play a stash? Best Bruno replacement if you're going for a hit is Cunha. I would still start Cunha over stash and just go for that. Nico or Nunes this week? Mateus Nunes or Nico Williams, I'm assuming. Nicole, is that what you're asking? Definitely Mateus Nunes. Nico, I'm not thinking of someone. Is it Nico Williams or Mateus Nunes? Let me know if they're the two options, but definitely the City man over Nico Williams. XTN Garov, Dubravka, Chalaba, O'Reilly, Hincapie, Semenyo, Saka, Foden, Bruno G, Thiago, Raul, Haaland, the benches, Dewsbury Hall, Van de Ven, Twanzebe, Verbruggen, thanks mate, sorry. Dubravka, Chalaba, O'Reilly, Hincapie. At least you've got Van de Ven if needed, if Hincapie doesn't start. Semenyo, Saka, Bruno G, Foden, Thiago, Raul, Haaland. How many transfers? Sorry, Nico O'Reilly. Sorry, Nicole. Nico O'Reilly, and save yourself some money there. Nicole, go with that. Apologies that I didn't think of that. That's my bad on that. Go with Nico O'Reilly and save yourself some money with it. But Nori gone to AFCON, it's his spot to lose, and he's been playing very well over the last couple of weeks. So it's O'Reilly's spot to lose. So I don't think there's any pep roulette in around on the corner for Nico O'Reilly. Hopefully I haven't jinxed him now saying that. But back to XTN, Garuv, Dubravka, Chalaba, O'Reilly, Hincapie. If Hincapie there, Van de Ven at least is a bit of cover if needed. But Saka, Semenyo, Foden, Bruno G, Thiago, Raul, Haaland. Let us know how much you have on your bench, man. And if you can get to Ekatika, maybe that's a route you should be going with. Let us know on that. Fenerbahce in the chat, man. Hope you're keeping well, man. Send in any questions ahead of the deadline if you have any. Have bench boost and wildcard left. Sorry, man. Bench boost and wildcard with that team. You can probably get rid of the bench boost this week, but then you have to make 2 transfers. Probably getting rid of Dewsbury Hall and Hincapie. Maybe use the wildcard this week, man. Actually, because you've got a few question marks in your starting 11 there. Thiago, Raul is okay. Thiago, Hincapie, Dewsbury Hall, Van de Ven, Twanzebe, Verbruggen then as well. Maybe go for a better goalkeeper and Pickford, double up on the Everton lads over the next couple of weeks in the fence. Probably wildcard this week, man, to be honest with you. Try and set up your team somewhat for a bench boost in Game Week 19 with a cheapish bench boost. With the likes of Dubravka, you already have him in the team anyhow, but maybe even a Mukulele at home to Man City. Who have Burnley of Newcastle, don't they? I'm just trying to think of a cheap defender for you for the midweek's games. United, you could even go Heaven. That's not a bad shout. Heaven at home against Wolves. Just a cheap bench boost is all. Maybe wildcard this week. Build your bench of Heaven, Dubravka. Who else can you go for that's cheapish? Maybe even a Steve at home to Newcastle. It's not ideal. And Elliot Anderson at home to Everton. Not the worst one for a bench boost there. Even if you get 10 extra points, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Use your wildcard this week. I probably would. There's a few ones I'd like to be changing in that team there. And you have no Liverpool attack. At least one Liverpool attack is what you need there. And probably even get Cunha in there for Bruno G then as well. Let us know if that's alright, man, but that's what I'd be probably looking towards going there. Minta and Richards to Jack and Nico O'Reilly. Go with that, yeah. Jack Grealish if it is, yeah. Go with that, Nicole. Good stuff. Go with that. FTBL07, hope you're keeping well, man. Yo, bro, what's up? Just finished to watch the AFCON match between Egypt and South Africa. How did they get on? Did another goal for Salah, or how did Egypt do? Let's have a quick look at the score here. What was it? Yeah, Egypt. Let's see, how did Egypt get on? 1-0. Wow. Was it Salah? Penalty for Salah. Wow. And they got a red card as well. Is that Lyle Foster of Burnley as well? It is, yeah, for South Africa. Wow. I had a dream last night that Ireland made the World Cup. So if we do make it to the World Cup, we'll be playing South Africa. And South Africa in our group? Are in their potential group? I think they are. Yeah. Was it a good game? 1-0 anyway. Which is better, Bruno to Guimaraes or Bruno to Grealish? I think Bruno to Grealish, Michael, for the next couple of weeks anyway. Have bench boost and wildcard. Yeah, go with your wildcard and then build it into a bench boost for the midweek games. No worries, his last name is always weird for me to spell. Thank you, Nicole. No bother at all. Bench one of Mount, Timber, O'Reilly or Xhaka. Surely you can play all those, Ahmed. Out of those, maybe just Xhaka. Timber, O'Reilly and Mount have to be played there. Get well soon, mate. In a similar state here too. Yeah, apologies now if it's not an ideal listen to me for the last, what are we going now, hour and 10 minutes all stuffed up and blocked up, so apologies if it's not the nicest way to listen to me, but we'll be back on the mend soon, hopefully. Hopefully you get well soon as well for the match, good man. Haven't used my wildcard yet. Do we get another one later on? Yeah, if you haven't used it yet, Rory, use it between this week or next week, because you'll lose it then at Game Week 19. We get another one then after Game Week 19, but yeah, just make sure you use it, because once it's gone, it's gone. Take a hit to remove Matty Cash. Not for a hit. I don't think I would for a hit. Who's the rest of your defenders own? Let us know. But no, I wouldn't take a hit to get rid of him. No. XTN Garov. I was thinking heaven. LOL. Thanks. Yeah. Sure. Look, if you only need it for one game week, just go with it. Nothing wrong with if he even gets you a clean sheet, you're laughing at that. So all good there. Any transfers here? Let's see. Raya, Dubravka, Virgil, O'Reilly, Hincapie, Mukalele, Esteve, Anderson, Foden, Grealish, Saka, Cunha, Egatike and Haaland. Hincapie might be out. But you've cover with Muke if needed. All good there, right. Is Ekatike the captain choice this week for those that have him? I'm on Haaland myself. Nothing wrong with him. Grand. What is the vote there? 67%, 203 votes, 67 on Haaland and 33% on Ekatike. Yeah, Rory, use your wildcard. You'll lose it if you don't use it. Is Guy to Bruno? Is Guy plus Bruno to Miley and Ekatike a good move? If you're, I doubt you're going to be starting Miley anyway, so maybe leave off that. But Guy plus Bruno to Miley and Ekatike. If you're just benching Miley, maybe you could even go someone cheaper and just have. As long as you're getting Ekatike for free, that's all good there. Who would you sell first, Konsa, Senesi or Anderson? Probably Konsa with Aston Villa's fixtures. Konsa to Akeem of Everton. Looking at Everton's fixtures, they're a nice one over the next couple of weeks, so maybe just go with that. Would you be looking to move Chris Richards of Crystal Palace? Probably. If it's a free transfer, yes. If you can afford to bench him, just bench him. I wouldn't be taking him out for a hit this week. Surely you've got the likes of Mukalele or an Esteve or, as I said, they're even a Heaven that you could even play. But no, I wouldn't take him for a hit. For free, yeah, go for it. Why not? Why not for free? Right then, what are we? 5:10. We've another while to go yet. Keep the questions coming if you can. I know it's a quietish stream anyway, with especially around the Christmas time. I know a lot of people in Ireland are out on the piss on St. Stephen's Day. Yeah, I'm probably saving myself, if at all, to until tomorrow. But we'll see how we are in the morning. But my plan was to soon sell Chalobah to Thiaw as it rotate nicely, and I can buy Chalobah back just as Thiaw's fixtures decline. Did the Newcastle injuries make that a bad move? Looking at Thiaw, did he not get dropped over some of the last weeks? So Let's have a look at Tiao here for you. Tiao. Six. Was he on the bench last week or was he starting? Oh no, he was starting. Fair enough. I thought he got benched. Fair enough, maybe so. But looking at Newcastle's fixtures, I know they've got Burnley. After that, then they've got Crystal Palace. Another round of midweek fixtures. Then after that, they have Leeds. Not a bad move, to be fair. So right, my plan was soon to sell Chalobah to Tiao as they rotate nicely, and I can buy back Chalobah just as Tiao's fixtures decline. Do the Newcastle injuries make that a bad move? If you're doing it for free this week, that's fine. I don't think I'd be bringing in Tiao with that United game. I'm assuming you want to play Chalobah against Villa, which is fine. And don't take a hit to bring in Tiao this week. Maybe next week for the midweek games. But even would you probably prefer an Everton defender over a Newcastle one? Probably. That's what I'd go for there. Yeah, go with playing Chalobah, and then you could even do Chalobah to an Everton defender. Maybe even Tarkowski. You can afford that. Yeah, maybe I'd probably just go with that. Right. Is that Owen Meehan from my club as well? Is that Owen Meehan from Kiltumber? Let us know. Are you from Leitrim? Or maybe it's a different Owen Meehan altogether. Do let us know. Right then, we're nearly on 50 likes, which is great to see. If we can get up to 50 likes in the next couple of minutes, that'd be very, very much appreciated. An hour and 15 to go until the deadline, and we've got a few new subs there, which is great to see. But yeah, keep the questions coming in. I know we've got a good few now. We'll keep the questions in. We'll keep you entertained for the next while or so. Currently on 2 free transfers, and we'll either roll up to 3 free transfers or use a defensive transfer to switch Gahey to Gahey to Tarkowski. Don't really trust Palace going forward, even if it's the next 2 are decent fixtures. Right, so currently on 2 free transfers, and we'll roll either up to 3 free transfers or use a defensive transfer to swap Gahey to Tarkowski. Nothing wrong with going with that. I like Everton's fixtures the next 2. Burnley, Forest and Brentford. At least 1 clean sheet out of those games. At least 1 clean sheet. Probably this week, but Forest aren't that great either. So wouldn't be surprised with 2. Brentford might score. Especially if it is in Brentford. Let's see where they're are they home or away? It's at home, to be fair, right? 2 away fixtures. Maybe they get at least 1 anyhow. They could easily get 2. So yeah, nothing wrong with going Gahey to Tarkowski. Go with that. Would you go for a Newcastle defender or an Everton defender? Yeah, I think I'd be going for an Everton defender, as I said there, the last 2 questions. Go with an Everton defender, and I'd be more confident of an Everton clean sheet over a Newcastle clean sheet over the next couple of game weeks. And with Tarkowski, you've always a chance of getting some DEFCONs. And let's take a look at how is Tiao's DEFCONs anyway, sure, while we're at it. Tarkowski, we all know, is a DEFCON magnet. Let's see how is Tiao for the DEFCONs. I know he got 2 goals in his first start. Fair enough, 22 DEFCONs against Sunderland. Jesus Christ. So he's hit it 1, 2, 3, 4 times this season, Tiao. I didn't know he hit 22. That is crazy numbers. Pity now with the DEFCONs that it's capped at 10. If you the defender hitting 20 DEFCONs, you surely want an extra 2 points for hitting 20. Yeah, but FPL 09, I'd go with an Everton defender over the Newcastle one. Blaine, I need 0.1 million to do Thiago to Ekitike, but can't find anyone to sell. My team is Sanchez, Dubravka, Gahey, probably Gahey first off there, even Bruno G looking at this. Gahey, Timber, O'Reilly, Mukulele, Anderson, Bruno G, Rodgers, Rice, Foden, Minta, Haaland, Thiago, Raul. So as of now, you're doing Sanchez, Timber, O'Reilly, Mukulele, I'm going to guess, Bruno G, Anderson, Rodgers, Foden, Minta, Thiago, Haaland and Raul. So you need 0.1 to get to Ekitike. Maybe even just Gahey to Michael Keane for your Everton defender, and then you have plenty of money there. Gahey, Timber, O'Reilly, Mukulele. 4-4-2 is it? But then you only be benching Raul. I think you have to play Thiago to Ekitike is the play, and then swap to 3-4-3 with Mint on the bench, and you're good to go then. Gahey to Michael Keane. Go with that. All good there. Treslin playing. Thanks for doing the stream even on a busy night. Much appreciated. Trezon player, really do appreciate that. That's a really nice comment to get. Good man. Start Xhaka or Rodon this week. I'll be starting Xhaka. Always start the attacker. And with the fact that I'm starting Mukulele, I think Sunderland will get one. So Mukulele, a goal from a Xhaka assist. We'll be laughing at that. Right then, how are we going here? A few new subs, which is great to see. Then also, I really do appreciate that. If you are still watching and you're not subscribed, head on down there, click subscribe on the channel. We're nearly on 50 likes, which is great to see. So if you haven't liked the stream already, go down there, click the like on the stream. That'd be very, very much appreciated. Right then, all good there. Ekatike or Haaland captain? That is the main question there. Yeah, leave it on Haaland. Leave it on Haaland. Any news on Van Heck? Was he injured? Was he? I know did he miss out last week, or did he pick up a yellow card last week? Let's have a look at Van Heck news. Van Heck. What are we looking at here? He's a doubt at least. It is unknown whether Van Heck is fully recovered. I'm guessing he will be, but with both centre backs being changed last game and then keeping a clean sheet, we could see any combination of the four. Well, that's not much help, is it? Van Heck. Sounds like he's a doubt. If you have him, just start him. But that being said, they kept a clean sheet without him last week, so maybe just go back to the two they had this week. To answer your question there, no, there isn't. Owen Meehan, sorry, no, I'm not from Leitrim, I'm from Galway. That's fair enough, man. That just there's an Owen Meehan back home. It would have been funny if it was him asking me for tips. Not funny, but just the fact he's from Leitrim as well. I thought it was him, but no, all good. Owen from Galway, good man. Let us know if you do that. Everton defender in Owen instead of the Newcastle lads. I probably would lean towards that. Arsenal football. Mate, I went Bowen over Ekatike. Am I cooked? Because I don't know what I was thinking. And Ekatike was expensive and Cunha over Shirky. How cooked am I? I'll be hoping, which I don't have Cunha myself. I'll be hoping Cunha blanks tonight at least. But Ekatike could be an issue with the fact they are playing Wolves, and if he is on penalties also, you might be bothered there. But I wouldn't say you're cooked. I think you're all right. Just have a plan of getting in Ekatike. If he hauls today, have a plan of getting him in for next week. Because if you don't get him in, well, you can't get him in now. But if he hauls, he could easily be 9.2, 9.3 by game week 19. They're absolutely flying up in the prices, which is crazy at the moment. But that's why they gave us the 5 free transfers, I'm assuming. Take a hit for White to Frimpong. I don't think I would for Frimpong. Did Frimpong even play last week? He did. He came on at least, because he sure didn't get an elbow by Richarlison. Did he start though? Or is it the fact that Conor Bradley's out injured? Maybe that's why. Frimpong. Let's have a look here. He came on, didn't he? He did. Not for a hit. I don't think I'll be eyeing up a Timber move instead of a Frimpong move, to be honest with you. But that being said, Bradley's injured. Surely Frimpong should play. It's whether or not I'll be going for a hit for him. I prefer the Arsenal defence to Liverpool defence, so maybe just go with Timber if you can. Can you let me know what this starting 11 is? Raya, O'Reilly, Van Dijk, Mukulele, Saka, Foden, Anderson, Semenyo, Wilson, Ekatike, Haaland. How's this 11? Like that 11 a lot. Only fairly similar to mine. Well, not really. Raya, O'Reilly, Van Dijk, Mukulele. Well, no, sorry, with the same, pretty much same offence. Saka, Foden, Wilson is only the big doubt there. But sure, look, if Wilson doesn't play, you might have cover on your bench as all. But Abbas, that's a nice strong team. I don't mind that at all. Play a bench boost this week with Wilson and Hincampy, or play a bench boost next week. Probably next week. If you've only got one chip left there, Codry Roberto. If you only got one chip left, save your bench boost for the midweek games. But that being said, where there's ones where they had their wild card and the bench boost left, play your wild card this week and then bench boost during the midweek games. Sort yourself up for a bench boost the likes of a Dubravka, Heaven, cheap striker, and even if you get 9-10 points, that's there's nothing wrong with that then as well. Go with that. Right then, what else are we saying? What's really happening with Nick Pope? Is he still injured? It was a hell of a free kick from Reece James last week. Let's see if there's any news on Nick Pope. Nick Pope is back in the squad today. Does he get the gloves though? He has them for me. He's back in the squad anyhow. Yeah, he's back in the squad from what I'm seeing here. Might bring in the Bravka for Martinez though. Feel Burnley more reliable than Villa this weekend. Fair enough. I wouldn't be doing a goalkeeper transfer from Martinez to Dubravka. I'll be going Pickford if anyone. Don't do that. Jason, good man. Hey Niall, happy Christmas and New Year, my man. I left my team in the Patreon group. Have a look if you get a chance. Right, sorry Jason. Let's get into the Patreon here and get you going. This is a lock for bench boost. 4 free transfers and 1.186k overall. Ekatika captain for climb in rank. 4 free transfers: Wilson, Gordon, Foden, Saka, Krupi Jr., Mukulele, Esteve, Dubravka. Any money for Krupi? I'd prob just play him to avoid. Right, Jason, 3 free transfers. What do you think? 1 free transfer, 3 million in the bank. Alright, you're going to have to make a defensive transfer. Raya, Hinkempi, O'Reilly, Richards, Foden, Saka, Bruno G, Cunha, Wilson, Thiago, Haaland. 1 free transfer. Richards, too keen. Would be tempted to do Ekatike for the hit. Let me know what you think of that, Jason. I probably would just do the Ekatike move. Cunha captain, be very brave. Not sure on the Cunha captain now. Maybe I'm at a big risk now without going Cunha this week. Maybe. Let us know, Jason, if that's alright. Triple captain Haaland this week. Would you prefer him against Nottingham Forest or Sunderland? Nottingham Forest. So yeah, I probably would go for that this week. Get that locked in if you haven't done so already. As I said, it goes without saying you should have used it last week when he was playing West Ham, but sure, look, can't do anything about it now. Thiago and Fernandes to Ekatike and Wilson. Not sure on the Wilson transfer jolly this week. If you have Wilson, don't take him out. If you don't have him, don't bring him in. He is a doubt. So maybe Thiago and Fernandes to Ekatike and Grealish is what you can afford. Will you swap Saka for Rice, bring in Cunha instead of Grealish? I brought in Grealish already, Kevin. I didn't want to take a hit, so maybe it's a mistake not getting Cunha in. But sure, look, it's done. Grealish could do well this week. Let's see how he gets on. I'm not too fussed about having him for the next 2 weeks. Then I can always go to Rodgers if Grealish is stinking up the team, which he might be. I hate that little thing beside his name. Then also when I saw that, you'd think he's on 4 yellows or something. But he can't play City in game week 35. We don't care about that. It's only game week 18. You can't see that on the screen there, but I'm 14th in the Two Johnnies League. Also, if I get into the top 10, I'm gonna have to message Johnny Smacks and see will he get us on the podcast. 14th in the Two Johnnies isn't bad. Let's see if we can get into the top 10 this week. D McDonald, yes mate. Hope you're good and have had a good Christmas. Sorry. Hope you too, man. Good man. Martinez, Timber, Gahey, Keane, Foden, Rice, Rodgers, Neto, Ekatike captain, Thiago, Haaland is my team this game week. Looking good there. Thiago still in the team, but you can still get Ekatike in there, so nothing wrong with that. And your midfielder is looking nice. Foden, Rice, Rodgers, Neto, Martinez, Timber, Gahey, Keane, all good there. I'd go for that. Is Wilson fit to play? He's not. He is a big doubt this week. If you have him, play him. If you don't have him, don't bring him in. Might bring in the Bravka for Martinez. Might bring in the Bravka for Martinez. Go feel Burnley more reliable than Villa this weekend. Oh, sorry, if you're on about bringing him in. Sorry, would you play? Sure, look at why not. Dubravka, play him over Martinez. You might get a few save points from Dubravka anyway. Probably has just about a more chance of keeping a clean sheet. Have Konsa, O'Reilly, Anderson, Van Heck, and Senesi Would sell Senesi instead of Konsa as his overall fixtures are bad. Villa fixtures are good after Chelsea and Arsenal, I think. Have Konsa, O'Reilly, Anderson, Van Heck and Senesi. Would sell Senesi instead of Konsa. Go for it if you're bringing in an Everton defender for Senesi, fair enough. I'm not that confident of Arsenal or of Aston Villa getting clean sheets anyway, so I think one of them has to go. If you want to just go with Senesi out this week, fair enough. Just go for it then. Right then, what time are we? We've about an hour and 2 minutes to go until the stream. Let's keep this going if we can. If you have any other questions, keep them coming in the chat then also. And if you haven't liked the stream already, go down there, click like on the stream. And if you are new to the channel and you're not subscribed, head on down there, click subscribe on the channel. We're trying to get to 10k subs this season. We've a bit of work to do, but it would honestly be great if we can get one step closer to there after this stream. It's great to hit another mini milestone, not a massive milestone. One of the lads was taking the mick out of me for saying 8.7k was a milestone. Every little thing is a milestone. And we're one step closer to 10k, and I do appreciate your support, everyone that's tuning in there. Owen, me and Niall, what's your opinion on the new chip system with 2 triple captains, free hit, etc.? It's good for the casual. Sorry about that. It's good for the casual. I got lucky with my chips this week. I'm 48. Let's do a bit of a sum up here now. I think I was about 30 points better off, let's say, from using my free hit this week. Or sorry, not this week, sorry, back whenever I use it. So let's say 35 on a bench boost and 48 on a triple cap. So I've got let's say a 113 extra points from the free hit, triple captain and bench boost this week. Wildcard, we can't really count that because it's not over the course of 1 week, it's over the course of a couple of weeks, so we can't really say for certain how much we have, but an extra 113 points from 3 extra chips is crazy going. That's an extra 38 points from a chip on average of those 3 weeks. That being said, my bench boost was an absolutely ridiculous bench boost, and we'll never see that again with 35 points on it, but it's an extra way of getting points for people. Everybody who plays FPL, it goes without saying, everybody who plays FPL loves getting points. So it's just an extra way to keep the casual involved playing the game. Whether it might put us into into corners about trying to save them for double gaming, so whatever's going to happen in the second half of the season, if there are going to be some. I just think it's a good addition to the game. Of course, I'm going to say that with getting an extra 113 points off 3 chips. But I don't say no to it. Maybe with the DEFCON this year, maybe it's something where, as I said earlier, if a defender gets 20 DEFCONs, give him an extra 2 points instead of a forward or an attacker having to get 12. Maybe they decrease that down to 10 then as well, so it's 10 across the boards. Maybe that's something then as well for them to think about. But I wouldn't say no to the extra trips. It makes the game definitely more fun, and more avenues to points is definitely a positive. Yeah, that's what I would say. That's my 2 cents on the extra chips. If he's back, he'll start. Who's that about? Sorry, XTGN. With Pope, I think he's on about. Yeah, I think Pope will be starting tonight if he's back in the squad. So maybe he will. Bench 1, Hincapie, Mukulele, O'Reilly, Anderson. Just play Hincapie, O'Reilly. Or sorry, play Hincapie, Anderson first sub. And if Hincapie doesn't play, you've Anderson coming in there. Are Hincapie and Richards both out long term? Hincapie, there's not a definite answer on Hincapie, but Richards is definitely out for the weekend. Not definitely out, but he's a massive doubt for the Spurs game. I don't think they'll risk him for the Spurs game. Glasner said hopefully in the new year he'll be back, so maybe just leave it off on that. And just play Hincapie and worry about getting rid of Richards first. That's what I'll be saying there. When should you use triple captaincy? If you haven't used it already, goes without saying, it should have been used last week, but sure, look, use it this week on Halland away to Nottingham Forest. I think that Nottingham Forest fixture is a nicer one compared to the Sunderland one during the midweek, so probably just go with that. Codry, Roberto, only bench boost left to play. It's just a slightly better this week if Wilson and Hincapie play. Any news? I'm more confident of a Wilson start than Hincapie, so maybe you could wait until the midweek games to use it. Maybe not ideal, but probably that's what I'd say there. Avasora, I've Szoboszlai. Do I bench him and play Anderson defender or move McAllister or Grealish for a week? I intend to play a free hit next week to get Szoboszlai in for that week. If you're looking to have him next week on your free hit, maybe you get rid of him this week and try to get Grealish in to try and capitalise on his points this week. If Grealish can get any at all, I'll be hoping he will. Should I sell Szoboszlai? If you're not free hitting next week, I'd still keep Szoboszlai. I have him on my bench here. You can't see the bench, but Szoboszlai is on my bench, and I am looking for, to have him for the Leeds game, so that's why I'm keeping him for this week. I can have him on the bench this week, play him next week, and then see what the story is if I get rid of him for. We'll see who I'll be looking at bringing in. Fenerbahce, I'm not sure if it would be too passive if I was to roll up the 3 free transfers, but with 3 players on 4 yellow cards, saving the yellows might be better. I'd probably roll if you've got no other issues in your team. If your yellow carded players aren't injured or aren't doused this week, I just roll and have 3 free transfers to worry about that mess. If on the odds of probability, probably one of them will be getting a yellow card in between the next 2 weeks. So maybe you keep your transfers and worry about them after that. Hey mate, watching from Malawi, Africa. Wow, that's class. Have a triple captain and bench boost ship. A poor bench this week. Who do I triple captain? Haaland, Foden, DCL or Thiago. Also Bruno G and Rice. Should I triple captain? I think I would. And then use your bench boost then next week. I prefer a triple captain Haaland away to Nottingham Forest and a triple captain away to Sunderland during the midweek game. So use it this week. Worry about your bench boost next week then. Let us know who you have on your bench boost. But don't definitely play them. Because once game week 19 comes around, you'll have no more chips from the first half of the season, but you'll only have an extra couple for the second half. They all go back to 1. So make sure you use your two chips over the next 2 weeks. Triple captain this week. Let me know who's on your bench for the midweek games. But your team looks pretty solid there from the ones you've mentioned there. It sounds like you've got a decent bench if you've got DCL. Should I sell Szoboszlai? I have 3 transfers. I'm going to do Igor Thiago for Ekitike. Then I'm a few million short. You probably can't do Szoboszlai to another midfielder. I don't think you'll have enough. You'll have enough to get the likes of Grealish or even downgrade him to a Lafi. I doubt you'll even have enough for Lafi. Maybe you will, but Lafi is on yellow. Speaking of yellow cards, Lafi is on 4 yellow cards, so keep that in mind. And also, but let me know what you have in your bank, man. Avi Nunes. If you do Igor to Ekitike, how much have you for Szoboszlai replacement? Then do let us know. If Hincapie is fine to play next week, is there a chance Gabriel already back in the Arsenal squad next week? Yeah, it sounded like Gabriel was going to be back anyway in between game week 18 and game week 19, so that could be Hincapie's spot pretty much gone now anyway, if he's out for this week. If Gabriel's back, I expect Gabriel to be back by the start of the year anyway, so let's see how they line up this week with or without him. Right, all good there. Right, good stuff. Right, 25 to 6, 55 minutes or so to go into the deadline. I've sold Minta to Riley to fund Ekitike. Did I make a mistake? Lost my patience at Minta. I probably would have got rid of him anyway. Chewy in the chat. Hi mate, hope you had a good Christmas. How likely do you think that it is Miley hits Defcon playing out of position at right back? Did he get it last week? Let's have a look at Lewis Miley. What did he get last week? 16 against Chelsea, fair enough. There is a chance I wouldn't be bringing in Miley for the defensive things, because he's a midfielder in the game. He's not sorry for the chance for a clean sheet, for the defensive things. For the use your words correctly. For the chance of a clean sheet, I don't think I would, but would he get him at right back? Maybe. I just wouldn't be bringing in Miley as all for Defcons. Definitely not. You've Anderson of Nottingham Forest, who's a better show for Defcons. So maybe just go with that. Avianus, let us know what you have in your bank, and I'll be able to answer your question then. Buzzing about. Happy Christmas all. I hope you're keeping well, man. Team is Sanchez, Cucurella, Gahey, Ruben Diaz, Chalobah, Semenyo, Foden, Bruno G, Haaland, Thiago, Ekitike. Captain and the bench is Verbruggen, Weifer, Van Heck and Utara. Sanchez, Cucurella, Gahey, Ruben Diaz, Chalobah. That's a lot of Chelsea defenders. So Menyo, Foden, Bruno G, Haaland, Thiago. Is that a 5-2-3 or what's that? So Menyo, Foden, Bruno G. Or must be 4-3-3, but you've a lot of or sorry, it is 4-3-3, but you've triple Chelsea defence, which is crazy. Maybe, you know what? Maybe just do it. That's fine like that. Leave as is. Yeah, all good. Right then, what are we saying here? We're nearly on 60 likes then as well, which is great to see. If you want to go down, click like if you haven't done so already. That'd be great. Apologies now, I've been sniffing all stream, which isn't ideal. But if you wouldn't mind, go down there, click like. That'd be great. Right, let's see what else we're saying. Yeah, no team news as of yet. Nothing there, no. Interesting, okay. Right. H is the last, is dinner's ready. Should know I'm streaming till 6:30, but that's good to know. So right, yeah, did I make a mistake? I don't think you did. Is this the last week to play chips? No, you can play it in game week 19 also, so don't worry about that. You can still play it then. Hello, I'm on free hit. What do you think of Frimpong's expected minutes this week? I do think he starts, with the fact Bradley is that injured, so yeah, I'd leave it off on that. That's all good. What's the code to the 2 Johnny's League? Do you know? I actually don't know. Can I get it up on screen here? Or what? I saw it on their Instagram post. Can you see? Oh, there's the code there. Can you see that on screen? No, you can't. 2 Johnny's League code is there. Let me get it in for you there. I'll put it into the chat for you there, Owen. Good man. That's for the 2 Johnny's League. Yeah, there you go. Van Dijk to Fofana, not sure on that now. Wouldn't get rid of Van Dijk. Michael Bruno to Cunha, Thiago to Ekitike. Chelsea have some good fixtures. Not sure I get rid of Van Dijk. Bruno to Cunha, Thiago to Ekitike is fine, but you need money elsewhere. I still think I'll be doing Bruno to Grealish and Thiago to Ekitike, Michael. That's what I'll be saying there. Okay, thank you for the answer. Appreciate it. Have a nice day to you, Cod Roberto. Good man. Poor bench of Chalobah, Bruno and Szoboszlai. So got to transfer Bruno out. Bruno to Cunha. All good there. You should be fine. Start Anderson. I probably would start the Fulham one. I've Grealish and Rodgers. Who should I bench? Surely you can start the 2 of them. Grealish and Rodgers. Let us know, South, who else you can play. Surely you can start Grealish or Rodgers. You can start the 2 of them. Surely you can bench someone else in your starting 11 as of now. Right, let me just move that down a small bit so it's all in line. Right, all good there. We've been going for the last hour and 40. We've another 50 minutes to go. So keep these questions coming if you can. Would you start Minta or Cash? Minta, probably the Arsenal, or probably the attacker, but much of a muchness there really. Thoughts on Bowen? Nothing wrong with going Bowen. Haaland and Ekitike are the desired 2 forwards, but no, I wouldn't be wrecking up my team to get Bowen in, so maybe leave off that. I wouldn't be eyeing up that. Long-term replacement for Semenyo stash. I have 3 strikers in Thiago, Ekitike and Haaland. Do I move 2 strikers to get more budget? So long-term replacement for Semenyo and stash. I have 3 strikers in Thiago, Ekitike and Haaland. Do I move the 2 strikers to get more budget? Semenyo is fine this week, so I wouldn't worry about moving on your players this week at all. Thiago, I know, got rid of Thiago. There's a good chance Thiago could do something this week, so I wouldn't be pushing to making a transfer there. Semenyo stash obviously got his goal last week, but wouldn't be confident of a return this week. It was a lovely free kick, to be fair, as well. And I saw a Leeds fan in the crowd. He had 4-1 or something last week on a bet, and last kick of the game, Stash got that free kick to do that. But no, Avasora, your team looks good there. Semenyo, Stash, 3 lads up front. Nothing wrong with that at all. They could easily do well this week, so I wouldn't be moving those on. Definitely not. Kevin Turan of 3 free transfers. One to get rid of Bruno for Cunha, Thiago for Ekitike, but don't have enough funds. Is it okay to swap Rice for Saka? If you want to do it with your 3 free transfers, just go with that, and you're all good there. Is it okay to swap Rice for Saka? Go for it. Nothing wrong with that at all, especially with Saka not on penalties. Saka's a bit of a hindrance in my team at the moment with the fact he's not on penalties, so do you know what? Just go for it. Connor Cronin in the chat. Connor, good man. 0.2 million in the bank. 2 free transfers. Bruno Dewsbury Hall, Richards, Wilson is flagged. I was hoping the bench boost. Could make same transfers as you have done? Only 2 players playing on the bench then, or take a hit. I'd still. You could even just take a hit for the bench boost, or if you could just make your starting 11 this week. You still have midweek games to play your bench boost. Send in the rest of the team, Connor, if you can, and let's see how you're shaping up. But Dewsbury Hall, Richards isn't ideal. Bruno's obviously definitely out. You have 3 lads definitely out. Wilson is still flagged, so the chance it could be 4. But I'm slightly confident that Wilson will get some minutes at least if he doesn't start. I'm hoping he will, but that could easily be 4. So maybe do the 2 transfers and then do your bench boost in 19. Don't forget you can use your bench boost in 19. After 19 is when all the trips go back to the start and the reset anyway. So maybe do your moves this week to sort out your starting 11 and then worry about your bench boost. The fact you've got 3 potentially 4 players injured this week. Maybe just worry about the starting 11. Michael, what are we saying? Yeah, I still think I'll be telling you what I'm doing. Grealish and Ekatike, and that's what I'll be saying to you. Do let us know if that's alright, Michael. I know you're asking about other ones there, but I don't think I'll be eyeing towards them. Just Grealish and Ekatike, and all good there. Hi mate, need help on my wildcard. Raya, Dubravka, Timber, Keane, Frimpong, O'Reilly, Alderete, Foden, Gordon, Rogers, Rice, Cunha, Ekatike, Haaland, DCL. Any changes and who to start this week? So Raya, Timber, Keane, wow, you've a lot of good defenders this week. So Timber, Keane, Frimpong, O'Reilly, wow. Foden, Gordon, Rogers, Rice, Cunha, Ekatike, Haaland. Even your midfielders are very strong. Foden, Gordon, Rogers, Rice, Cunha, Ekatike, Haaland, DCL on the bench. So you're going 3-5-2, but then you're going Timber, Frimpong and O'Reilly are benching Keane and Alderete. That's the perfect bench boost team this week. If you have your bench boost there, Salah, go with your bench boost this week. That's what I'd be going for there. Right, all good there, grand. Yeah, Michael, Grealish and Ekatike is what I'd still be saying. I don't think I'll be ripping up your team. What you're saying above. What would be an ideal free hit team for this game week? Who are the must-haves? Triple City, O'Reilly, Foden, Haaland. Triple Everton, I'd be saying double Everton defence. Pickford and Tarkowski, or Pickford and Keane, and then going with Grealish in midfield. So that's 6. Triple Liverpool, Virgil, Wirtz, and Ekatike is 9. Cunha is 10, and then probably an Arsenal either attacker if you can afford a Saka. You probably can't. If not, Timber in your team, you're all good to go there. That's your 11. Thanks for the code. Start Anderson or Thiago this week. I probably would still start Thiago, even though I've got rid of him. I'd start Thiago. Fenerbahce, maybe a bit too much trust and risky on Chelsea with the triple defence, but we'll keep them as they're solid most of the time. I'll probably bench them against City only in game 20. Fair enough. They were ticking along nicely with a couple of clean sheets until that 2 goals conceded last week. But look, Sanchez still got an assist. Yeah, so maybe leave off there. When they realistically get rid of Semenyo or potentially hold. That's the thing about Semenyo. I know he's on 4 yellow cards. If he does make this City move, is he going to be playing every week for City is another thing. He probably would have been more suited to Liverpool. Is he going to be a real asset in FPL when he goes to City? Who knows? Shirky's been flying. Foden is going very good. Doku then as well. Savinho surely goes. Oscar Bob is surely going to go then as well if Semenyo makes his move to City. Yeah, there's a lot going on over at the Etihad, but if Semenyo goes, it's a wait and see how he gets on into that City lineup. He could be only eased into the game or eased into the lineup. But yeah, start Sanchez or Dubravka. Probably would still start Sanchez. When did we? Yeah, Onspro, good man. Merry Christmas, Niall. 3rd of my league right now. Player in front. Right players. Got Foden before his run, Cunha before his, but I've been making the wrong capsule choices. Wondering, is it worth a punt on Ekatike? There's nothing wrong with going Ekatike. It's just I think Haaland does well this week with that fixture against Nottingham Forest. I'd leave it on Haaland if you want to punt. I don't think this is the week to go against Haaland, to be honest with you. It could probably be more of a week to go against them with Sunderland away, with United up against Wolves. I just I don't think I'll be going against them this week. Ekatike is fine, Ons, is what I'm trying to say, but I don't know if I'd fully go against Haaland. He could definitely hurt you. I'm assuming he's going to be about 150-60% effective ownership, Haaland. Maybe not. As I said, we're not sure on Ekatike if he's definitely going on penalties also. So that's another thing then we need to consider then too. Best midfielder pick for the next 4 game weeks under 8 million bracket. Best midfielder for the next 4 game weeks under 8 million. Does Verts count? Is he bang on 8 million? If he is, maybe stick in Verts. Imagine that now after all we were giving out about him all season. 8.1, right? So you can't afford him. Let's see. What are we saying? Right then, maybe Rice even. Rodgers after the two Arsenal and Chelsea games will be always probably switching to Rodgers. Probably Rice, and then switch to Rodgers. Is what I'll be looking at there. Semenyo is Semenyo, but we're just unsure how he's going to line up in that City lineup once he does, or if he does make that move to City. Connor, Raya, Dubravka, Alderete, Van Dijk, O'Reilly, Richards, Anderson, Saka, Foden, Wilson, Bruno, Dewsbury Hall, Raul, Haaland and Thiago. So with your starting 11 this week, let's see if you can sort out your starting 11 before you consider your bench boost. So Raya, Alderete, Van Dijk, Richards, then you've got Saka, Foden, Wilson, Bruno. Is that Bruno Fernandes though? Probably is. Dewsbury Hall, Raya, Dubravka, right? So Raya, Alderete, Van Dijk, O'Reilly, Richards has to go. Anderson, Saka, Foden, Wilson, Bruno, Dewsbury Hall. Right, so you can get your starting 11. Your starting 11 this week is going to be Raya, Alderete, Van Dijk, O'Reilly. That's 4. Anderson is 5. Saka, Foden, Wilson, question mark is 8. And then Raul, Haaland, Thiago is your starting 11. So your starting 11 is fine. It's just your bench is a bit of a shambles, especially if Wilson is going to be out. So maybe Richards to Michael Keane. Bruno has to probably go to Grealish like I've done, and then Thiago to Ekitike. That probably if that's how many free transfers have you, Connor? I know did you say how many you had? Trying to see what your 2 free transfers. I just sort out your starting 11 this week, and then worry about your bench boost in the midweek games. So just what we were saying there, where are you gone? We've lost your comment there. So Raya, Alderete, Van Dijk, O'Reilly, all good there. That's your back 3. Anderson, Saka, Foden, Wilson, Bruno to Grealish, Bruno to Cunha, if not Bruno to Grealish, and Thiago to Ekitike. 3-4-3, and then worry about your bench boost. We got there in the end. Then worry about your bench boost then after that. Right then, good stuff. Let's keep this going. Good few messages to get back to in the Patreon. Who do captain, Haaland or Ekitike? I'm on Haaland. Free hit with Cunha. Downgrade Thiago to get Cunha. Gonna have a bench and headache. Thoughts? What are you saying here? Free hit with Cunha. Who to bench? If not changing the free hit. Would you start? I think I'd still start O'Reilly over Keane. Any money for Verts over Mac. Right, all good there. 0.2 in the banks. I can't really get anyone in. Should I activate bench boost? Can you do it without? I'd play it. Right, all good. Should I bench boost or reserve it for 19? Hincapie and Guy are doubts. Hincapie and Guy are doubts. Leave it till 19. Grand. All good. Abdullah, I've done this already. Should I do a -4? No, not worth. Grand. Right. 40 minutes to go. Shirky or Wilson this week? Shirky over Wilson. Nicholas, would you do -4 to Hincapie, to Tarkowski, weak bench to Steva, Guy and KDH? Only worry is Tarkowski pick up a yellow and being in the same position next week. I didn't realise he was on 4 yellow cards. Wow, fair enough. Don't think I'll do the -4. Just hope Esteva plays. He's been back on grass since Tuesday or since Monday, so that could sound like he might be fine to start this weekend. So leave it in. Michael, yeah, what I was saying, yeah, I think you missed it because you asked it a few times, and I did get back to each time. But Grealish and Ekitike is what I'll be saying there. I don't think I do the 3 transfers you're on about. Is Bruno to Cunha for a hit worded, or just play Rodon? I would do the hit there to get rid of it. Hi mate, I have 2 free transfers. Eccles, what are we saying? My free hit team is Pickford, Virgil, Keane, Timber, Rice, Verts, Cunha, Foden, Ekitike, Haaland, Calvert-Lewin. Not sure I'd have Calvert-Lewin in there. Take out Calvert-Lewin, upgrade one of your midfielders, and go with that. Surely you have enough money to go with Grealish instead of Calvert-Lewin. Go with that. Southway. I've Raya, Van Dijk, O'Reilly, Timber, Mukiele, Foden, Rogers, Wilson, Verts, Haaland, Ekitike. Subs are Dubravka, Grealish, Esteve. I don't know who to bench to play Rogers and Grealish. Foden, Rogers, Wilson, Verts, Haaland. You could probably just start Grealish over Wilson, but I think you do have to stick Grealish in there. It's just how you get him in. I don't think you can. Again, if you had your bench, it would be great, but Grealish, I think you need to play Grealish. I know he hasn't been great over the last couple of weeks. I brought him in for the fixtures of the next 3, so maybe just do it. Grealish over Wilson, just. Would you start Chalobah or Cash this week? Chalobah. Eccles, right, here we go. You have 2 free transfers. Having to play a back 4 this week. Have 2 free transfers. Currently starting Van Dijk, Anderson, Nico O'Reilly, Rodon, Richards on bench. Should I sell one to Keane? If so, who? Thank you. Right, you're starting Van Dijk, Anderson, O'Reilly, and then you've Rodon and Richards on the bench. Should I sell one to Keane? I probably would do Richards to Keane, get it done, and get an Everton player in for that game against Burnley. Go for it. Leave it off. So grand, good to go. Charlotte, right? I need to move Hincapie if he's a doubt. I'd say risk it. Grand, right? All good there. Grand, how are we looking? A couple of new subs in as well. If you are watching and you haven't subscribed, please do head on down there, click subscribe on the channel. We're trying to get to 9k subs first. We've had a nice influx of subs since we started this, which is great to see. And we've passed 60 likes. If we can get up close to 70 before the end of the stream, that'll be very, very much appreciated. 4.1 defender on free hit, thanks. 4.1 defender on a free hit. Is Mukiele over 4.1? He probably is. 4.2, probably Alderete, so, or maybe he's over that price as well. There you go, Alderete, get him in. 4 million, you're good to go. Grand, right, let's keep this going. Would you recommend, would you play Chalobah or Wilson this week? Wilson, and hope he plays. Play Mukiele or Anderson defender. Avasora, play Mukiele. Kiso, would you recommend a -8 to bring in the Cooper, Ekitike for Chalobah and Thiago? Your thoughts on keeping Thiago instead? Probably just keep him. It's not worth a -8. No, I don't think I'd do that. What do I do with Hincapie and KDH? Already used my 2 free transfers on Ekitike and Cunha. Just play Hincapie, hope he starts. You're going to be benching Dewsbury Hall anyway, so leave that off. Leave as is there. Free hit team: Pickford, Virgil, Keane, Timber, Rice, Verts, Cunha, Foden, Ekitike, Haaland, Calvert-Lewin. As I said there, maybe you can just downgrade Calvert-Lewin to Guy and upgrade one of your midfielders to Grealish. I'd prefer Grealish over Calvert-Lewin this week. I know Calvert-Lewin's off the back of 2 goals. Probably should have been 3 last week. I don't think I'd want Calvert-Lewin against Sunderland. Sunderland have looked solid. 2 clean sheets in their last 2 games. Maybe they make it 3. DTVVS. Where are you gone there? Where is this comment? There we go. Hey mate, use a free hit this week. I'm going Pickford, Keane, Frimpong, Mukiele, Cunha, Rogers, Foden, Verts, Thiago, Haaland, Ekitike. Nothing wrong with that team at all. That's a strong team there. You might want an Arsenal defender if you can at all. If not, leave it off. You're good to go. Is Ekitike worth a -4? I wouldn't say no to that, to be honest with you. So maybe just go for it. Yeah. Ilafe or Cunha start? Has to be Cunha, of course. It has to be Cunha. Start Anderson or Lacroix if that's Nottingham Forest. Anderson, probably go with him. There's a good chance you could get some DEFCON there this week, so leave that off there. Michael, no bother at all. At least we got you in the end, good man. Wilson over Chalobah this week, and would you triple captain Ekatika? Luckily, I forgot to activate it on Foden last week. Are you Niall? Are you a lad? Who was chatting to me in Galway last week? Are you in? Who do you know that someone that I work with in Smiths? They were saying that they're in a league and someone forgot to triple captain Foden. I wonder, is that you? Who was telling me that? I was chatting to someone during the week. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but I wonder, is this you? Because they were meant to triple captain Foden, and they didn't. Would you triple captain Ekatika? I don't. If it was beside between him and Haaland, I probably would still triple captain Haaland. But nothing wrong with going Ekatika if you want to go with Ekatika. Right then, how are we looking here? 2 minutes to go. We're one sub off hitting 8,720. If you are watching and you haven't clicked subscribe, go down there, click subscribe on the channel. Let's try and get 8,720. That'd be very, very much appreciated. Wilson over Chalobah this week? Yeah, to answer your question, Niall, yeah, Wilson over Chalobah, I would. It's worth taking the risk if Wilson does start. Joseph, what do you think about taking a 1 week punt on wildcard with Grealish when I'm wildcarding with 4 free transfers? Anyway, nothing wrong with going for a punt with Grealish like I am as well. Let's see how he gets on. It might be a mistake, but let's see if he does. If he does anything this week, I'll be hoping that he does. Right, 31 minutes to go until the deadline. We're flying. All good there, grand. No team news as of yet. Thoughts on Shirky? Is he a minute's risk, Grealish or Shirky? I think I'd go with Grealish. Yeah. Play LaCroix in the fence or Anderson in midfield. I like to go with that. Ross Mulcairn, would you play wildcard this week and bench boost next week? If your team isn't set up for a bench boost this week, wildcard this week, and then just on your bench go with a Dubravka, Heaven, maybe even an Esteve and some cheap midfielder or a striker, depends on your formation. If you bring in Heaven, you should be getting a 3.8, 3.9 million. I know it's a Man United defender, but you'll be getting a defender who's a decent chance of getting a clean sheet at home to Wolves. I know United are pretty poor in defence as of late, but go with that. Right, trying to see any team news here. No sign of Hincapie in the training pics. Doesn't seem too great, does it? That's just scrolling for Twitter there. It doesn't like he's trained. Right, all good there. Hincapie fit for Brighton. Yeah, he hasn't been any training pics from what I can see here. Right, all good. Right, we've hit 8,720, which is great to see. Appreciate all those who click subscribe there when I asked you to. That's great. No, lad, it wasn't me. What's the options left before GW18 on the triple captain? It's this week or none. You could do Cunha next week against Wolves. I think it has to be Haaland. Haaland this week, and I prefer Haaland away to Forest than Haaland away to Sunderland. Sunderland have looked good over the last couple of weeks. You could have Ekatika at home to Leeds either next week. I don't think so either. Don't know. I wouldn't go with that. No, leave it off at that. What do you think about Cunha? He's a good lad. I wish I could have him this week. I can't get to him this week. So, yeah, I'd leave it off. I had to leave it off. But if you can get him in. If you can, definitely. That's what I'd be advising on there. Right, 28 minutes to go until the deadline. Keep the questions coming if you can. We're going here the last 2 hours. I don't know how I've been able to keep going without coughing or up a lung or anything, but thankfully I haven't. We're still going. Right. Suggests a 7 million midfielder on a free hit. Got Rice, Foden, Verts. Go with Jack Grealish as well. Finn Cox, Harrison. Hi mate, hope you had a good Xmas. Same to you, man. Who'd you start out of Senesi, Tavernier and Hall? Probably Tavernier. I'll go with those. Verts or Gordon this week. Verts this week. I think Grimares is the pick ahead of Grealish. Feel like Newcastle will score. That's fine, Michael. If you want to go with him, go with him. I do think Newcastle will score. It's just with Grealish, I'm bringing him in for a 2 week punt before I go for Rodgers. Nottingham Forest and Burnley. Nothing wrong with those 2 games. That's why I'm going with Grealish. If you fancy Bruno G, go with him, Michael. I'll I was going to say I'll be delighted if he scores you, but I won't because they're playing against United. But I do think Newcastle will score. It's just who's going to score from them. Abdullah, no problem. Bring him in next week. Very fair. So, plan bench boost this game week. Wild card in game week 19. Sold Saka to Ekitike before Bruno injury. Now stuck. Need one midfielder and defender for -4. Leaning Wirtz, Wirtz, McAllister or an Everton defender. So what did you do? You sold Saka to get Ekitike. Need one midfielder and a defender. Lean towards Wirtz or McAllister. If you don't have Cunha, get Cunha and Tarkowski, or Cunha and Michael Keane. That's what I'll be going for there. Would you start Semenyo or Wilson? I would start Semenyo, but surely you can play Wilson then as well. Sell Vicario or Richards for -4. If yes, who to buy? Depends who have you cover on your bench. Radu, try and leave off the hits where anywhere possible then at all. I don't think I've taken a hit all season. That's why I'm up around this ranks. But I wouldn't be eyeing up a hit at all. Try and leave off the hits if you can. Right, let's send this in here. Ekitike is the vice captain. For myself this week, Wilson is there. Yeah, leave him in. Right, send this in here. Grand job. Nice one. Sound. 1 week punt and then I can bring in Szoboszlai next week, Michael. Fair enough. Nothing wrong with that. I still think I'd favour the Grealish punt this week though. I know you're going for Bruno G, but I do think I'd favour the Grealish punt this week against Burnley. Burnley are piss poor, so maybe I'd go with that. May have been asked, Haaland triple captain this week or next week. Keep up the good work. Excellent stream and effort. Of St. Stephen's, a good man. Super drog. Appreciate that. Haaland triple captain this week if you haven't played it. I prefer the Nottingham Forest game to the Sunderland game. That's all. On bench boost this week, I've Consa from Villa. Would you sell him to Keaton from Everton? I have the money. If it's for free, yeah, go for it. Wirtz or Gordon to buy. Wirtz out of those. Start Anderson or Vandenberg. Anderson. Michael, do let us know if you're going Bruno G or Grealish. Good man. Hi mate, who would you bench and bench order please? My team is Raya, Timber, O'Reilly, Senesi, Anderson, Gahey, Wilson, Saka, Semenyo, Foden, Lafie, Haaland, Thiago and Waltermaid. So who would you bench order? Right, so Raya, Timber, O'Reilly, Senesi is what I'll be going there. Wilson, Saka, Semenyo, Foden, Haaland, Thiago, Waltermaid. 3-4-3. Lafie first sub, Anderson and Gahey. There you go. That's a strong even 15-man squad, so good man for that. I currently need to start Goodmunson or Vandenberg. Should I sell Richards for a hit? Just start Vandenberg. Don't take a hit for that. Definitely not. Niall Ella, good man. Fair play, lad. I hope you shake off the dust soon. Appreciate that, man. Would you play Shalaba or Mukulele? Everyone knows I have a soft spot for Mukulele, but I do think he's a better chance of a clean sheet than Chelsea. Villa have looked good over the last couple of weeks, so I'd probably go Mukulele. Keep Thiago this week or replace with Ekitike. If it's for free, get Ekitike in. All good there. Start one amongst them. Elliot Anderson, Joachim Anderson or Senesi. If you're starting one, probably just Senesi. Just about. I do think Elliot Anderson could get some DEFCON. There's a good chance Anderson of Fulham and Senesi do get DEFCON then as well, but just about Senesi. He's a better attacking threat as well. But I do think both of them will concede, so maybe just go with that. Right then, all good there. 23 minutes to go until the deadline. Just making sure everyone is happy in the Patreon here then as well. What else are we saying? Start right, all good there. Raya, Anderson, Van Dijk, Calafiori, Wilson, Saka, Enzo, Foden, Haaland, Thiago, Waltermaid. Benches Dubravka, Richards, Achimpong, Miley. Bench boost left, 4 free transfers. Do a bench boost this week or next week, and what transfers do you recommend? Wow, okay. So you have Dubravka, that's a playing one there. Richards has to go if you want some. Achimpong is probably a question mark around him starting then as well. Anderson, Van Dijk, Calafiori, Saka, Wilson, Enzo, Foden, Haaland, Thiago, Waltermaid. Right, with Richards to Keane, Achimpong to Achimpong to 1, 2, 3. Who could you get in as a defender? Do you even double up on the Everton defence? Maybe for clean sheet potential. Then Wilson is a question mark, but I think he's going to be fine. I'm assuming you can't do Thiago to Ekatike. Let us know what you have in the bank there, H, if you don't mind. Start ones, yeah, all good there. Senesi, Hamad, hello mate. If I can't afford Grealish, should I choose McNeil, Alcaraz, or Dewsbury Hall? Well, Dewsbury Hall is injured, don't forget. Don't go for any of those. What's the budget there, Hamad? Let us know, and we'll help you with another midfielder. But no, I wouldn't be. Grealish is the only Everton lad you want. Dewsbury Hall is obviously injured, and you have a couple of lads there who won't even play. Thoughts and thanks for the insights. Good luck with the game, mate. Fenerbahce, cheers for tuning in as always, man. Really do appreciate that. If you are hopping off on the stream, don't forget to give the stream a like before you head off. We're close to hitting 70 likes, or have we hit it? 67, yeah, we're around 67 likes. If you wouldn't mind going down there, clicking like on the stream, and if you wouldn't mind clicking subscribe then as well. We're one step closer to 9k subs, which is great to see also. That's why we're doing this stream with a bit of a flu, just to get every stream gets us one step closer to another milestone. So I do appreciate that. 0.3 in the bank for 8. So right, so Richards to Keane. I think I'd just worry about it during the midweek game. So maybe because Walter made, even if you can't get to Ekatike without ripping up your team. So maybe leave it off, and Walter could easily do well tonight, like he did against Chelsea. So Raya, Anderson, Van Dijk, Calafiori, Saka, Wilson, Enzo, Foden, Thiago, Walter leave it off at that. Even you can nearly roll Enzo to a Grealish maybe if you wanted for a punt, but apart from that your starting 11 is fine. It's just your bench isn't ideal this week, so maybe leave off until the midweek games. Make sure you use it before 19 or it's going to go. Cheers lad, you should be on the hot whiskies. Yeah, maybe I should get one after this, to be honest with you. My throat is kind of tickling now, which isn't ideal. Hello mate, if I can, yeah, right. Thanks for the, yeah, all good there. Budget is 6.2 for a midfielder, so for Hamad 6.2 for a midfielder for Hamad. Let's see how we're looking. So 6.2. You don't want Minta anyway. It's not ideal. Even Casemiro couldn't be a bad shout, but not ideal. Lafie for Sunderland. There's rumours he is going to be on penalties, but he is on 4 yellow cards also, so maybe not. Yeah, it's not an ideal price point to be looking for a midfielder. Maybe Xhaka, not ideal either. The fact you can't get to, or the fact Wilson is a doubt. If Wilson wasn't a doubt, I'd be saying Wilson, but maybe just leave it on Elliot Anderson, Hamad. It's not ideal, but you're getting a lad that can play and get some decent defcon, so maybe leave it at that. Right then, 0.3 short of a Ford and Walter made. Who do I downgrade? Team is Raya. 0.3 short of a Ford and Walter made. Who do I downgrade? Team is Raya, Dubravka, Gehy's probably your man you're going to have to downgrade. Timber, Chalaba, Cash, Van Heck, Saka, Foden, Bruno Guimaraes, Wilson, Anderson, Haaland, Walter made, Ekatike. I wouldn't be reckoning up my team to bring in Walter made this week. Fair enough, he does have the Burnley game during the week, but is he going to score against United? I do think Newcastle do score. It's just if they'll get a couple. I do think there'll be goals in this game. Who'd you bring in if you really want Walter made? Downgrade to Gehy, and you're all good there. I'd leave it at that. Tete or Klein this week? I'll be going Tete. That's the Fulham Tete, isn't it? Nearly sure it is anyway, but yeah, I'd be going Tete over Klein. Klein will be playing, but against Spurs, I wouldn't do it. No, definitely not. Right, all good. 28 minutes to go until the deadline. If you want to keep the questions coming, keep them coming if you can. We're so close to the deadline. I know it's a quiet stream with everyone making their transfers early. Just scrolling here. Is there anything on Twitter? Really hard to figure out what to do with both Hincapie and Wilson. Neither look serious, but they could both be out. Yeah, if you have them, start them. Wow. Okay, slot on Ekitike. Ekitike is not the only number 9 I have. Federico Chiesa can play in that position as well. So I have that chance to maybe, I wouldn't say rest him, but take him off if he's completely tired. Wow. That's another thing why you wouldn't captain Haaland over Ekitike. Jesus Christ. Interesting. Michael, FPL, bring in Ekitike for Raul or Thiago? Prob for Raul, if you can afford. Right, all good there. Well, lad, Alan, I've 2 free transfers, no money in the bank. The team is Raya, Timber, Chalobah, Mukelele, O'Reilly, Saka, Foden, Cunha, Semenyo, Haaland, Thiago. Bench is the 2 Andersons. Would I roll? So, team is Raya, Timber, Chalobah, Mukelele, O'Reilly. 4-4-2 is it? Saka, Foden, Cunha, Semenyo, Haaland, Thiago. Bench is 2 Andersons. If you don't have enough money to get to Ekitike without ruining your team, I'd just say I'd leave it off and leave it at that. Who the triple captain? Leave it on Haaland. Did you see the message I put? Right. Yeah, just if anyone's joining late, slot on Ekitike. He is not the only number 9 I have. Federico Chiesa can play in that position as well, so I have the chance to maybe. I wouldn't rest him, but take him off if he's completely tired. So Haaland is pretty much guaranteed 80 to 90 minutes. Reading that, if Liverpool are up by 2 by the 68 minutes, you'd assume that off that quote, slot is going to take off Ekitike early, which isn't ideal. Johnny Sexton is after messages here with his free hit. So Pickford, Timber, Kanate, Keane, Foden, Cunha, Semenyo, Rice, Bowen, Ekitike and Haaland. I like that now, to be fair. Have you money for Virgil? For Kanate? More chance of Defcon from Virgil. And who the triple captain? Has to be Haaland. Who plays more minutes this week, Chiesa or Frimpong? I still think it's Frimpong going to start with Bradley gone off. Could bring in Allison too. Leave Pickford. Foden, Cunha, Semenyo, Rice, Bowen, Ekitike. I was trying to fit Grealish in for you, but I think right. What's your plans for your team? I've two free transfers used, Jake. I've Grealish and Ekitike brought in for Bruno, and Thiago, 2 free transfers. Adam, back to you. What I was saying, 2 free transfers, no money in the bank. Raya, Timber, Chalobah, Mukelele, O'Reilly, Saka, Foden, Semenyo, Haaland, Thiago. If you've no money for an Ekitike move, leave it off. So, and you can roll into 3 next week. Yeah, I would have to downgrade Timber to someone 4.300 to get Ekitike. Transfer as Ponder was Timber to Kanate. No, I don't think I'd do that. Timber could easily get a clean sheet and some Defcon this week, so leave that off. Wouldn't suggest on that. Start Reinders or Anderson of Fulham. Start Reinders or Anderson of Fulham. I still would probably start Reinders. There's a chance he could get an attack in return, so leave Reinders in. I just captain Cunha, guys. I want to play it safe and capped Haaland, but I'm currently 4th on my local league, and the top one is 40 points leads ahead of me. Hope Haaland blanks Castle. I don't, but for your sake, I hope he does. But I'm going to be hoping for the opposite. I'm hoping Cunha blanks. United win and Cunha blanks. I don't think that's going to happen. It's going to have to be one or the other. But I'm not sure on captaining Cunha against Newcastle. If I was captaining someone instead of Haaland, it'd be Ekitike. But I hope that goes well for Newcastle. And apologies that I'm hoping for the opposite. Daniel Herb, Lewis Potter, O'Reilly, Tarkowski, Shade, Semenyo, Foden, Wilson, Wirtz, Haaland, Eager, Thiago. I also have Rule on the bench. Do you think I should bring him on instead of Shade? Wirtz for captain. Wow, Daniel, I hope you had Lewis Potter last week. I hope it's not just a knee-jerk this week bringing in Lewis Potter. O'Reilly, Tarkowski, Shade, Semenyo, Foden, Wilson, Wirtz, Haaland, Eager, Thiago. I also have Rule on the bench. Do you think I should bring him on instead of Shade? Probably would do, yeah. Wirtz for captain. No, it has to be Haaland. Daniel, good man. You've no way or no money of getting Ekatike is the only thing then also. So maybe leave it off if you're trying to wreck up your team. I wouldn't suggest on that. Just leave it off on Ekatike. So many rumours about Kanate. What rumours? What have you seen on Kanate? Good to go. Here we go. Raya, Virgil, O'Reilly, Timber, Mukulele, Cunha, Foden, Wilson, Saka, Haaland. Nice team. All good there. Van den Berg or Senesi this week. Probably would do Senesi. Saka to Rice on free hit or keep Saka. If you're on free hit and you can afford to keep Saka, I would probably just keep Saka on that. But if you need the money to upgrade Ekatike, or if you need the money to upgrade Thiago to Ekatike, there's nothing wrong with going Saka to Rice, especially if Saka is off penalties. But if you're on a free hit and you have plenty of money, just go with that. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All the best this week, Daniel Herb. Good man. Appreciate that, man. Happy Christmas to you as well. Hope you had a nice one. Good man. Thiago for Ekatike and Bruno F for Cunha, or Grealish or Rice, or is it worth downgrading Bruno Fernandes and Guy to Ekatike? If you can do Bruno Fernandes and Thiago for Ekatike and Cunha for free, go with that. That's what I wanted to do, but I couldn't afford it, so I've had to do with that. Kanate didn't train. Let's see if Kanate didn't train. Don't see where Gravenberch. Yeah, Kanade missed training. There we go. Fair enough. Newcastle midfielder for 6.2. Don't think you're gonna. Kanate didn't train. Best 6.2 million midfielder for Newcastle. Can you afford Bruno? Is Bruno G that much? He mustn't be. Newcastle. Gordon would be my main one for Newcastle, but Bruno G, no. 6.2, no. None of them. Leave it off. So you can't get a Newcastle midfielder at that price, so leave it off. 6.2, you can't even get a Grealish, so it's probably next best one is probably going to be Elliot Anderson. I did bench boost this week. Asia, let us know how your bench boost is shaping up. Good stuff. Right then, 9 minutes to go until the deadline. If you are watching and you haven't clicked like or subscribe, go down there, click like on the stream. We're on 71 likes and we're on 8.72k subs. So if you are one of those that hasn't clicked subscribe, please go down there, click subscribe on the channel. Your support is very much appreciated. It'd be great to get 8,730 if we can at all before the end of the stream. We're about 4 off there from what I'm seeing here, so that'd be great if we could hit that. Go down there, click subscribe if you haven't done so already. I've been streaming for the last 2.5 hours, 2 hours 20 minutes, sorry, and I'm absolutely dosed with the flu. So if you want to show your appreciation, just go down there, click subscribe. Thank you for that. Should I start Paqueta over Anderson of Fulham, since I expect the two of them to concede? Why not? Paqueta on penalties then as well. Nothing wrong with that. If you think Fulham are going to concede, start Paqueta there. Just go for that. Liverpool could concede with Frimpong at right back, Lucky at centre back. Wolves are shocking though. Wolves are so bad though. Asia, what was the question? Sorry, I'm on bench boost transfers. Which one is better? Thiago, Bruno, Richards to Keane, Ekatike and Roger, but Esteva in bench, or Esteva to Van Dijk and go with Thiago without Ekatike. So you're on bench boost. 3 transfers. Which one is better? Thiago, Bruno, Richards to Keane, Ekitike and Rodgers. I like that one, yeah. But a Stevie on the bench, yeah, go with that. It's fine. If you want to do Rodgers to Grealish this week and then reassess after Rodgers, I know Rodgers is the man in form, but he's up against Arsenal and Chelsea over the next 2 game weeks. Maybe bring in Grealish for more chance of points in the bench boost. And go with that, yeah. But the first 3 moves, I like that. Ekitike, Keane, and I probably would say Grealish instead of Rodgers this week. But if you want to go with Rodgers, I understand that. Go with it then. Wolves are so bad though. I'd have Virgil. Can see them winning. Right. Start Collins or LaCroix this week. Probably Collins. Is it Wilson not injured? He's a doubt, but if you have him, you're as well start him. If you don't have him, don't bring him in. That's all you have to do. Mate, do you think Vista will start over Waltermaid? Not after the 2 goals last week. No, I don't think he will. Right then, 6 minutes to go until the deadline. Keep the questions coming in if you can at all, and I appreciate all the likes on the stream then as well. We've nearly hit 80 likes, which is great to see. I'm bench boosting this week. Should I replace Richards? Definitely do. Yeah, Richards seems to be out for this week. So get rid if you can. Michael Keane of Everton is what you have to do. All good there. I'm gonna wildcard next week Asia. That's all good. So get the bench boost out of the way. Just do Grealish in this week. So for a punt, you as well punt on Grealish over Rodgers. And if you're wildcarding next week, just use that if you want to take a punt on Grealish this week, then move to Rodgers next week, or even wait until 2 weeks time when Rodgers has his better fixtures. Then best midfielder under 7.5 million, Anthony Gordon. I like Grealish for the next 2. I'm going to die in a hill with Grealish, but I think he's well worth a punt with those fixtures for the next while. And then, as I said, if it doesn't work out, I can just move Grealish to Rodgers then after that. I'm going to hit wildcard next week. That's all good, man. Go for it. Make sure you use it before game week 19. Mate, did you think Wilson will start over Waltermaid? No, I don't think Vista will start over Waltermaid, especially with Waltermaid getting 2 last week. I don't think so, no, I do not. Right, 5 minutes to go until the deadline. Hopefully Haaland does the job. Grand. Maybe he was given a rest. He was given a rest. Will Wilson play? He's a doubt. He's a big doubt anyway. I'm gonna play him in. I think he's either gonna play or won't play at all. So you as well start him. If not, he'll be left out. So I think he's fine. I think he from Marco Silva anyway. From his comments, it sounds like it's quite positive. He hasn't ruled him out completely, and he hopes he can be involved. So that might be fine. Was given a rest. You have cover in Minta. Anyway, at least. But I saw it there. Right, all good there. Right then, 4 minutes to go. Brilliant content, Niall, Jake. I really do appreciate that, man. We're nearly there. We're going 2 hours 25 minutes. If you are new to the channel as well, we have about 40 or so watching us as of now. If you are new to the channel, please do consider clicking subscribe. It actually, you don't realise how much it actually does help the channel. And yeah, there's serious work being put into this channel behind the scenes, and I do appreciate all the support you've given me this season. The channel has grown well. Let's see where we end up at the end of the season. All we care about is our rank first. If we have a good rank, the channel will grow itself. That's all we need to care about. Thanks, mate. Good luck. Hope you have a Merry Christmas, Marcus. Appreciate that, man. Really good. I'll probably be going to the bed right after this. Trying to shake off this cold. Excuse me, sorry about that. I've got Van de Ven coming off my bench for Wilson, which is crap. I was going to spend the -8 and bring in Keane. No, I don't think it's worth the -8, Mo, because if you do the -8 and Wilson doesn't start, the last thing Silva said on Wilson is that he hopes he'll be able to be involved. So it's not ruling him out fully, but I don't think it's worth the -8. If you have Van de Ven coming off, you might get some DEFCON, which is an extra 2 points instead of a -4. So you're missing out on pretty much 6 points then. And you need Keane to get his clean sheet to break even. So I don't think I'd do that, Mo. Just leave it off and just hope Wilson starts. I haven't got a great cover in my bench either. I could easily take a -4 then as well to take out Wilson. But no, I'm gonna leave him there. A -4 to bring in Frimpong, Joshua, the Pens, who you're taking out, or if you need him, same story as Mo. If you have playing defenders and you can get away without taking a hit this week, leave it off, and don't do the hit. Just have your players playing. There's midweek games during the week. There's games coming thinking fast now, so don't be making luxury transfers when you should be saving them, or don't be taking unnecessary hits when you should be saving your moves, and worrying about the fixtures, the next week's fixtures. I wouldn't be worrying about this week's fixtures. If you can get 11 this week, leave it off, don't bother with that. Then Vicks Vapor Rub inhalers are the best to beat the runny nose and aisle. They work wonders. Stay warm, brother, and get well soon. Castle, appreciate that. I actually have one in my pocket. Haven't used it all stream, or is it down in my bedroom? You don't want to see me inhaling that anyway. But it's actually down in my bedroom. But I was using that. Appreciate that, Castle, for that suggestion. Cheers. Right, a minute to go. Let's get this team locked in then as well. A team isn't looking that great this week, to be honest with you. On the start 11 is fine apart from Wilson, but the bench is a bit of a shambles. Soboslai definitely out, and Esteve and Merricky isn't ideal there also. But sure, look, all we care about is the starting 11. Raya, O'Reilly, Virgil, Timber, Mukulele, Wilson, Grealish, Foden, Saka, Ekatike and Haaland captain. That's going to be it for this week. Right, make sure you get your teams locked in. Before you do head off, please consider heading on down there. Click and subscribe on the channel. We're a couple of subs off hitting 8,730. So if you're watching and you haven't clicked subscribe already, go down there, do us a solid, be sound, click that subscribe button and get us one step closer to hitting 9k subs, right? And that's it. That's going to be another deadline stream out of the way, and that's it. Right, if I click refresh here now, that's going to be the deadline gone, and there we go. Can we see that on screen? The game is updating soon. You can't really see it. Right, we're going to leave it there now. So I'm surprised my voice is still going after chatting for that long anyway. But yeah, hopefully you all get some green arrows. I'm going to drop a few green arrows in the chat here. I need a United win tonight, but I'd also need a Cunha blank after not bringing in Cunha. So I could be in trouble now if Cunha does well tonight. But that's it. Haaland captain, Ekatike vice captain. Just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. I know it's the 26th, but I hope you did enjoy your Christmas. And let's see where we end up after this week. 24k overall. A green arrow is what I want this Christmas. So let's see how we get on. Right, then we're going to leave it there. So thanks for watching. Best of luck for the week. We'll see you in the next video. Erabu.